have no
We're in the
trailer.
future now.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, so far nobody's watching, so we're recording for posterity.
That's right.
Ended. 3
We'll wait
seconds.
for people to show up. They're used to Tuesday being the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nobody
Oh,
knows.
yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and well, I guess we just start talking. Whatever. They don't
Yeah,
care.
well, yeah. Welcome to the 4th episode.
Hello.
Hey.
Whoa.
Oh, we're still here. Are you okay?
We're here. Yep.
I've got a weird echo.
Oh,
Oh.
you got an echo. Have you got a window open?
Could be a ghost.
That got me one time. Or you got your phone going or something? That's okay. This is the perfect time to work it out.
Why would YouTube do that to me? That was too weird, man. That was too weird.
That's funny.
That was crazy. Okay. Welcome to the 4th episode of Literally Liminal. We just had the weirdest echo because I had another YouTube window open that was echoing and it freaked me out. So that'll be fun to rewatch later.
Everyone will have to enjoy that first minute of video.
That's right. Of me just looking like some kind of flashback was occurring.
You had a tic tac.
So today, of course, I'm with Virgil as always. Virgil, of course, is from Literally Books, and if you're not watching him, you should be. And I'm also here with Wheel of Genre, which is a YouTube channel that I absolutely love. I've been watching these guys since January, apparently, and have wanted to do one of these with them for quite a while. We'll get into introducing them in a bit, but hi Bob, hi Zach.
Hey Chris. Hey
Chris,
Virgil.
Virgil.
What's going on, guys?
Thank you for joining us. Put that phone down. We got Goblin of Gygaxanor.
What's
Good to
going
see
on?
you, Goblin. Always here. Always. Well, I don't know. Him and Timey-Wimey-Limey have a tendency to fight for who's going to be first here.
Who's gonna be first? We'll see if we can break the curse of the two things that always show up. We'll see what happens. We're just going to see what happens naturally. I don't know if I should even have said anything.
And of course, Constance is joining
what's
us.
up?
Constance is
Hi, Constance.
awesome. Yeah, there's two things that always occur on these live chats, but we've changed the schedule. We worked around Zach and Bob's schedule because they are much farther away than any of our guests have ever been. I don't know if you
Yeah.
keep where you live
Sorry.
secret or anything.
No.
Oh, no, we can share, yeah.
Yeah. It's not top secret information. I'm in mainland China and Bob is in Taiwan.
Taiwan. I have to teach
yeah.
on Wednesday morning. So thanks, you guys. Thanks for changing the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because it's what 6 in the morning over there. 7.
7:03.
7:03 on a Sunday. Yep.
All right.
Cheers, Timey-Wimey-Limey. Coffee.
That's right.
Yeah.
Timey-Wimey-Limey says, fake news. I am not remotely interested in such trivialities.
Cheers to that.
He doesn't want to be first. Indeed. All right. It looks like we're up to 9 viewers. What's up,
Jake?
Paul Boredom? Jake, how are you doing? Jake's going to be our next guest.
Oh,
On a Tuesday. Have you guys ever watched any of Pulp Mortem stuff?
I got it. I'm subscribing now.
All right,
yep.
good. Yeah,
Planning it.
he's wild because he will read the type of books that like I pass up in a bookstore because I read the back and go, okay, this is not going to be the type of science fiction I want to read. I have watched Pulp Mortem's reviews. I haven't seen every one of them, but I'm getting close and taken books off my shelf because he's, taken the hit and read the book.
He's taking the...
It's almost like a backhanded compliment. Like he'll read the crap that I won't even touch.
He does. I mean, that's it exactly.
Yes.
Because he's looking for the real, the real gems. Hello,
Hey, what's up, Matthew?
Hey, Matthew.
Yeah, he totally I was like, this Powell Anderson book that we just did over on the Eames thing. I'm like, maybe this would be good. Somebody picked this. And I'm like, oh no, this is not a good book. And I felt like, these guys, it's Powell Anderson. These guys are probably going to love it. They all hated it. And I was like, thank God. Because
you didn't want to be the only one on there loving it.
Right.
I think Powell Anderson is our only author who we have a DNF, who we have did not finish.
What were you reading?
We were gonna do his one that was like a mishmash of all the Shakespeare stories.
Midsummer's Tempest. Right.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
never even
Midsummer's
heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we read all the Shakespeare plays just
keep
like
in the
for
reads.
ourselves and for
I saw that.
Patreon and stuff. But yeah, so we were like, oh, look, we just read Powell Anderson for Dangerous Visions, so let's check out his Shakespeare book. I was late to start it, but Bob started it and was like, look, we can't do this.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever caught when Chris and I read
Oh my God.
read With Gods Abide. He's like, I was like, oh, he showed a book, and I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to read Thomas Burnett Swan. Let's read a novel.
I was interested too. I was.
And Chris had already started it, and he texted me. He's like, have you started this yet? And I was like, well, I read the first chapter. Seems okay. He's like, okay. And that's all. I was like, huh. I'm like, this is interesting. And then I started reading, like, oh, I see.
The Death Note. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Everything.
I don't want to color his opinion,
He's like, oh no, he likes it. And then of course he said, did you see Brian's video? And it was like all 200 books he read a year, and it was like the second from the worst. It was like it was like all the way at the bottom of the list. I was like, oh my God.
Okay, I think we've got enough people here.
Yeah.
I think everybody showed up that's going to show up. Oh, wait, let's talk about Paul Anderson one more. I don't even know if that's how you say his name. Paul
I
Anderson.
say Powell Anderson, but
Yeah.
I
Matthew says Paul Anderson has written good stuff, but yeah, I think there were times when he was just paying the bills.
yeah. Three Hearts, Three Lions was a good one. It was kind of like a fish out of water story, very similar to the one we read, but it was a good one.
Now, was Paul Anderson's Dangerous Visions the one that was the joke? Like the whole thing ended in this joke about aliens, like the there was like let me see if this is the right one.
Yeah, let me open up my notes.
It was the one that ended in pederasty. So we were like,
Oh yeah, that one.
Maybe I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, that's right.
Journalize the job, okay.
I think in our discussion of it, we said this is framed. This has the structure of a joke,
yeah.
because it's like, yeah, the whole thing is like, why is this guy on the run? Why is this dashing hero on the run? And everyone wants to kill him. And then in the end, it's like, oh, pederasty.
Yep, I didn't read that far because I stopped at Miriam. What is it? Miriam DeFord is where I stopped. Yeah,
Yeah,
which
that's a good jumping off point.
Which also had the same problem.
I want to talk about that story later because I have different opinions about it months later.
Oh, good. Yeah, I want to talk about a lot of the stuff in there, even though I didn't read it all. What's up, Steve? Geez, tough crowd. Some grand old names taking a beating right out of the starting gate.
Sorry.
That escalated quickly. So
What better way to start a stream than a super popular writer and just beat him up?
I think the one I was talking about is Lester Del Rey, maybe, where there's Martians coming. So the guy's like, now I can tell racist jokes about Martians.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, Evensong, Lester Del Rey, we loved.
Oh,
I thought that
right.
was great. But
Frederick
the one is
Frederick Pohl is who I'm thinking of, and I always confuse Paul Anderson and Frederick Pohl.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well,
that makes sense.
I used to get those names confused too. Very different writers.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that soon. Let's talk about Wheel of Genre a little bit. Our guests.
Yes.
So if I understand this, your guys's concept, and I look over your videos and I've had so much fun. The concept is that you spin a wheel and whatever the genre that comes up is what you read that week.
Yeah, more like months. So we're doing 4 or 5 books per genre, and that could be well, I guess I should preface this by saying the idea was for us to read books of genres that we wouldn't normally read otherwise. At least that's how we started off the whole thing. So that included early 20th century adventure novels, romance books, SF, fantasy. We basically just said, look at all the world of genre fiction and let's try to do 4 or 5 books at a time, figure out how we can connect these books together, if we can connect them, and then kind of move on to the next in a cycle.
So did you actually spin a wheel and randomize it, or did you plan the cycle?
We have never
Move
once
wheel.
touched a wheel.
Okay.
I don't have a driver's license.
Yeah. I think the general thing is mostly like, hey Bob, what do you want to read next time? And then he'll say something like, we haven't done cowboys in a while, and it's like, okay, yeah, let's read some westerns.
Yeah, if you guys, if I scroll through your videos just for as long as you've been on YouTube, because I wasn't familiar with the podcast before, which we'll get into. I think I was just scrolling through it before, and I marked out Daniel Steele.
Oh yeah,
which is not somebody that I would expect on a current YouTuber's page. I just want to add really quick. This is the Christopher that I was talking about. This is the key witness, I believe. Yeah, I think that's his picture. I can't see very well.
Cool. That was his picture to me.
Yeah.
Soul. All right. Yeah.
Hi, Christopher.
Yeah, Zach was in Seoul for quite a while as well, right?
I was in Daegu, right in the middle of the country, and I was there for a year. Loved it. Love visiting Seoul. Yeah, we'd love to connect and ask you how it's going, Christopher.
안녕하세요, Zach.
안녕하세요, Bob.
안녕하세요.
Oh, thank you. I have
Well, let's see. Steve, let's call Tanith Lee a kitten punching Bolshevik. I haven't read Tanith Lee yet, but she's coming up. I'm excited to read some Tanith Lee.
Yeah, it was so good. Whew.
So if you guys wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit of your origin story. I stole this idea from Richard Rempel at Vintage SF, but I love when I have channels on here to just hear about like how you guys became readers and why you started the channel.
Sure. So Bob and I met in college in Portland, Oregon, probably around 2012, I want to say, 2013, something like that. We both got jobs at Powell's City of Books. Largest new and used bookstore in the world. Yeah, it was the greatest job you could ever ask for. Let's see. So, Bob, you were running the children's books section.
I was in every single section.
Is that where the idea of Wheel of Genre was birthed?
Maybe, yeah.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, I started in the detective novels area, and then they moved me over to the poetry area and the classics, and that was my time there. And then we both moved overseas. We both ended up in Nanjing, China together. So I first went to Korea, and then at one point, me and my wife were interviewing for other jobs, and we had one opportunity in Nanjing. And then the very day that we got that opportunity, Bob emailed me and said, "Hey, I just took a job in Nanjing, China." And we were like, well, I guess it's settled then. Wow. And he ended up working, imagine a city of 8 million people. He ended up working about 500 footsteps away from where I was working.
Eventually.
Our workplaces.
Eventually.
Yes, eventually.
At first it was an hour and a half because I lived in the middle of nowhere.
That's true. In Nanjing, we started a book club. With our friend John, who was with us for the first several, not the first episodes, but he joined Wheel of Genre for a long time. We had a nice book club. COVID happened. He didn't want to do video, and he could record less and less. So that was during COVID, we started Wheel of Genre, and that's it. That's our story.
We've been crushed by the wheel ever since.
Yes, it's so interesting. I'm primarily known as a sci-fi booktuber, but recently I've been horror obsessed. So it's so strange because it's hard to move genres. Yeah. And I love the way that you guys have structured it. I watched, one of the stories about Dangerous Vision followed by Dashiell Hammett. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you watched that one, didn't you, Virgil? The Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, it was good. I was like, I know I can be spoiled by this book. I've read it, so.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, no problems.
Yeah. There's no spoiler tags, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was such an amazing idea to me. And then if you have not watched these guys, the I feel like I like to get in deep into stories and explore them. I feel like you guys like explode them and look over each piece of them. Really incredible deep dives you guys do, and I find that is kind of rare on BookTube. It's something that I love to do, and it's something that I love to look for as well.
Yeah, and you guys have such a great rapport. We kind of said this already, but just a really great back and forth discussion where one responds to the other. It's really enjoyable to watch and very watchable too. It isn't.
Oh, good.
I mean, like Chris says, you do dive deep into it, but it's also very approachable. So it's not as though it's like elitist or something. I mean, sometimes when people talk about books like that, you think, oh, and maybe it isn't forced you if you're not really into it, but it isn't that approach at all, and I love that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Constance asks, where were you guys during COVID? Were you on lockdown in a foreign country?
A crazy story.
This is
All right.
Yeah.
So since we were in Nanjing together, we with John and then Zach's wife Charlie, we all went to Vietnam together for vacation during Chinese New Year, and then like day one, we started seeing all the news. We got there, we started seeing news of like people collapsing in China. Then we start seeing everyone wearing a mask. Then day two, a quarter of the population of where we are wearing a mask. Day three, half the people. Day four, no masks left anywhere. You can't buy any because they're all sold out.
Wow.
And then day five, text messages. I'm sorry, your ticket back to China has been canceled.
Oh, wow. You're just Vietnam, huh?
Yeah. So we got, and then the visas didn't last very long in Vietnam. So we were like, okay, we could stay here for a while. We just had to go back home. I couldn't get away back. All my stuff just was gone. Zach managed to get over, but I had friends who were still over there. I was like, okay, you can meet my landlord. Take whatever you want. Landlord was really nice. She helped me out a lot, but I felt really bad because it was like all of my weird paintings that I bought on Taobao were just there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is wild. That is wild.
It was wild.
Yeah, because we all just shut up in our homes. You know what I mean? Yeah, to have been on vacation. And yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Couldn't go back. But
back.
So yeah, we started the show in Oregon and Hawaii, respectively, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I was in Hawaii, and then I went to go visit. Everyone thought COVID was going to be really short. So I went to go see how my parents were, take care of them for a while. Then went to go see my sister. I thought it was going to be a week visit. And then I was there for 6 months.
Wow.
She's great. So we had a wonderful time.
Oh, good. Well, all right. And you guys always been readers? Is that just something that...
No. Zach, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just learned.
I just learned. I refused to read. I was an idiot, and I realized in high school I was like, I don't need to read books. So I never read a single book. I think in elementary school I maybe read one. No, that's not true. I probably read the first chapter of one Goosebumps book. And then college. This was scary. I put it down. That's why. R.L. Stine, you ruined my life.
Man, that's my dream book series for us to do. I would love to go through.
You
and
got
every
to
Goosebumps
read
books.
All of Goosebumps.
Brian at Bad Taste Books is doing them, and the videos are great. If you haven't seen them, check them out.
Okay,
I will.
I love Bad Taste Books. Let's watch the Goosebumps series. You know, he types with he chicken pecks. I don't know if you guys knew this. R.L. Stine never learned how to type.
I did not know that.
That's why he writes his books.
It must have taken him a while to write that big of a series.
You think he would have taken a course or something at some point? I mean, he's like, listen, this is my job.
It's literally my job.
Yeah. Scholastic doesn't pay him enough for.
Never in a feud. They want me to take the class. I don't want to take it.
Yeah.
You bought one
real
thing with that amount, maybe two.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, what got you into reading then, Bob?
I realized when I got to college, I was like, oh, I'm the dumbest person here. So I opened up the book.
Warm it up.
Yeah.
That's not the story I was expecting at all.
Me neither. Well, that's what I lived.
True life. I was the dumbest man at school.
Oh my
That
goodness.
reminds me of that. Have you ever seen the movie Rushmore, where he's like Bill Murray and the superintendent sitting outside, and what is it? I can't remember the character's name. He comes up, Jason something comes up, and he talks to him, and he leaves, and Bill Murray's like, "Oh, he's a smart kid," and the superintendent goes, "He's the worst one we got."
Yeah. Oh, 4 goats on my screen.
I know what's going on. Cyber.
4 goats.
Yeah,
Bah.
4 goats.
Too much bah. Sorry.
I still have the entire original run of Goosebumps. I'd love to talk about them too. I liked the blob that ate
amazing.
everyone in one day at Horrorland.
Oh yeah,
sure.
you need Curtis. You need to talk to Brian. He is. You read
Yeah.
it. You should go check out his Franken Turkey video.
Oh my god, that video is
It's
incredible.
good.
I'm
Like
subscribed.
he
I'll see if
reviews
I
this,
can kind of
this book that was like this Thanksgiving horror book that had a script written by Michael McDowell, who did Blackwater, and also wrote the script for Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
And he's like, you have to watch it. It's an incredible video.
Right.
I could
Oh,
see you and Brian working together, Curtis, on some Goosebumps.
Oh, for
That'd
sure.
be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, you
Is
guys
that trauma?
recently finished Dangerous Visions.
Oh
We
yeah.
sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
And you guys made some very very kind videos on it. Your last video of what were the stories you liked. Did and I don't even know if did you like this book?
I'll let Zach go first.
I think I am so thankful that we read it as a artifact of a certain time in science fiction history. And I am so thankful that my personal reading list of authors who I want to explore has now exploded. But there's, I don't know what to say, Bob. I don't know what to say. There's some obvious flaws with it that anyone who opens it up and reads the first 5 stories, there's people who love shock for shock's sake, but this is truly an edgelord book.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And maybe not everybody that's watching knows this, but I tried to do the same thing. I started reading through this book story by story and was doing a deep read for every book, and I quit it. I quit it because I felt like, and you guys, I was so excited to talk to you about this, and then I watched your channel today, and you answered the question I was going to ask you already on your video today, and that was I feel slightly, I don't want to say bad. It must have been weird for these writers to have somebody like Harlan Ellison, who's like the bad boy of American sci-fi, like just a very overpowering individual, come to you and say, I want you to be in my book, which of course you'd be like, oh my God, that's great. But make sure you write something that is groundbreaking, that's going to change the field of science fiction forever. This is going to be the American New Wave. That's a lot of pressure, I think, to put on these people, really, truly. And I think a lot of the writers, and kind of what I said in my comment, a lot of the writers, I think, just went to either shock or absurdism to try and please what they thought Harlan Ellison wanted. And you guys have already talked about it on your channel, but if you don't mind, what do you think of that? Do you think that's kind of how it went, or?
I think that's about how it went, but I've changed my mind the way I think about it now. And just to mention Steve Donahue earlier saying, we're punching up on Paul Anderson. I think he is kind of forced to do something outside of his wheelhouse too. So we will go back and read him and see what he really writes. But this is interesting because it is forcing a new genre. They're trying to leave Golden Age and trying to make something brand new. And Harlan Ellison is almost artificially saying, look, we are making a new genre. And I don't think that often happens. I think someone will write a book, other people be inspired by it.
Right.
And now, it becomes organic. But this is a really interesting experiment to say, look, if I force enough people and talk about them in weird ways in the introductions to create something that has not been created before. Will that make a new genre that will stick? And I think it has. It's made new wave. And halfway through the book, after lots of stories where Zach and I were like, what on earth are we reading? I really enjoyed it. And I think even though some of them are probably not representative of the individual authors, I think it was interesting to talk about anyway. I think as an experiment for like people working together to make an anthology was interesting for me and Zach to say, okay, we're going to work together to understand something. It's like a community book. And I think that's,
I don't usually watch deep reads if I haven't read the book. But this one I did and was highly entertained every time I watched one of the videos. The one I can think of now was your video on Zelazny, who writes a story.
That was so good.
Who writes a story. Zelazny's a very interesting writer because Zelazny kind of made my channel. That's my big blow up video, is a Zelazny book. And I'm reading Zelazny's books in order, and I think this is true of a lot of sci-fi writers. They're trying to live off of writing sci-fi, so they're putting out stuff constantly. But yeah, sometimes his stuff is like so mind-blowingly good, you think he'll be your favorite writer till the end of the time. And other stuff, you're like, well, that didn't really hit for me. I know you guys have read Lord of Light.
Yeah, loved Lord of Light.
Yeah,
Lord of Light.
Yeah,
Love Deus Irae more.
Me too. Oh, I forgot to pull that one down. I forgot you guys did that one. Yeah,
long time ago. Yeah,
this was
YouTube days.
This was a good time. I feel like I can tell who wrote what section.
Yeah,
and I watched another YouTuber, and he had it exactly opposite that I did. So it's interesting to kind of think about. But yeah, I think that Zelazny's story was just like people fighting cars like bullfights, right?
That was it.
That was it. It was a Hemingway story. Yeah, but instead of a bull, it was a Cadillac,
and in an arena and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And a rose,
and like women crying in the stands, and
swooning.
That story was actually probably a really good example of what was so interesting about Dangerous Visions, and that Zelazny is someone who I love his writing so much. And then you expect to be like, oh, okay, Zelazny, here's a name I know. I can't wait to read this story. And when you read it, it does almost nothing that you like about the author.
Right.
It exists in this own weird pocket universe of its own thing that I'm thankful I read, but it's also kind of like, bullfights with cars.
And I wonder if that's Harlan's influence. I wonder if they're like, what do you want from us? And they're just throwing stuff at Harlan. Oh my God. So that was my real question is I know I'm the same way you guys are. I don't want to get on and just slam a book. And you said like this started the new wave. I would add, of course, that it started the American new wave. That the new wave that was going on in the UK was I think completely different than what Harlan was trying to do
here Ballard
here in the United States. I thrifted Lord of Light and need to read it. Any pointers, or should I just dive in? I'll let you guys go if you remember.
I personally don't think you need any tips to read it. I think you can just pop it open. But for me, I had Google by my side. So I was kind of like looking at pictures of the Hindu gods that each person was named after. But I don't think that's necessary to enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm going to just throw this out here again. I love Dream Master. You should read that. But also For a Breath I Tarry is possibly one of the greatest science fiction novellas I've ever read. Zelazny, like reading that Zelazny, I think it blows Lord of Light just out of the water. Really, really incredible Zelazny.
We'll read that for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to get into more Zelazny. I mean,
me either. I haven't read anything.
I'd recommend Auto da Fe.
Yeah, start with Auto da Fe, and then it's only. I feel bad. I feel bad because the tone of what we've been talking about has mostly been what we don't like about Dangerous Visions. But I think for us, like one of the first things we did when we started out as a channel was we were looking at like review shows that were just trashing the book,
Right.
Trashing book after book,
Yes.
and kind of posting like takedowns of stuff. And I think from the get-go for us, we were like, we don't want to do that.
Right.
We want to talk about how the things are actually put together. What's the tone like? And I guess the focus for us is what makes it evocative of a certain genre. How does it participate in that tradition? So, if a book is frustrating or maybe not as well written as it could have been, that's not the focus for us. That's just kind of like I don't know. That's a side note.
Writers of the Purple Wage, and I just complained for half an hour.
I did too. That was I got into it, and I don't do this anymore. But back in the good old days when I first started, I'd try to fight with people in the comments. Like if they were talking crap to me, I'd be like, "Oh yeah," and try to get in there and fight with them, which is stupid. Don't ever do it. But I got into a fight with somebody over Riders of the Purple Wage because I didn't like it, and I was probably harsher on it than I should have been. But
us too, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted my time back when I was done.
Long.
Yeah. I mean, I can appreciate that because sometimes it's like, I mean, you have to represent your reaction accurately, and sometimes it's like, like I reviewed a comic book not too long ago, and lots of people didn't like it because of what it did. Probably because it takes superheroes and like puts them in like and talks about like depression and like suicide and stuff like that, and so people didn't like that. But I mean, I can only react to the book the way I reacted. Like, this was good. And like I reacted to it the way I would react to a novel, not like this is a comic book hero that I love and treasure or something, and I think that some people just are like, that's not gonna work for me. Yeah. I think it's like the same thing. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just I can only be me. That's
right.
How it is. If you don't like it, you can't pretend. And I think it's disingenuous. So yeah,
I agree, Steve. The story of Dangerous Visions is the most interesting part of Dangerous Visions.
That's true. Yeah.
In fact, I'd even go farther. The most fun I had reading the first 100 and something pages that I did was Harlan Ellison writing about the people whose story I was about to read.
He writes really great introductions.
Yeah. They're so strange.
They are. Yeah. And one of them in the second Dangerous Visions book, I'm not going to get up, try to get that. It's up high. In the second Dangerous Visions book, he ends the anthology with a James Tiptree Jr. story.
Oh.
And I don't know if you're familiar with James Tiptree Jr., but she's a female sci-fi writer that pretended to be a male sci-fi writer. And Harlan Ellison wrote this introduction talking about how James Tiptree Jr. cannot be a woman because people were kind of suspecting that, and how this only a male could have written this exact kind of this kind of writer. And he just went on about that, and then later it came out.
Dug himself into a hole.
Yep.
Classic Harlan, egg on his face.
I want to shift, if you guys don't mind, all the way up to Area X, Annihilation. You guys are reading that right now, right?
Yeah, we're doing acceptance tonight.
Oh, okay. Are you through it?
I'm
not yet.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
So we
won't be doing that tonight.
We probably shouldn't spoil anyway.
We got 12 hours till we record it, so I'll make it through.
You read it before, right?
I've read it before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you've read it before, but not Absolution, right?
Not
I've
Absolution.
never. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read that was there was 3 books that I bought last year, right when they came out. Last year was good. They did the Dangerous Visions 3, which has been rumored for years, and apparently the stories aren't what everybody expected. But what I've seen is there's a person that was very close to Harlan Ellison that writes about Harlan Ellison, and it's apparently really beautiful and well worth the read. And even calls into question, like it's an unflinching look at Harlan Ellison, which is really interesting. But also there was a new translation of Wonderland and the End of the World by Murakami, and Absolution. And I grabbed this right when it came out. Annihilation, New Weird. You guys talked about this a little bit. To me, this seems like the ultimate New Weird compilation. Or story. It pulls from all that past cosmic horror and presents it in a way that like was one of my favorite reads of the entire year. There's no question there. What do you guys think?
Is it truly new weird though? I mean, it's a new weird story, but is it new weird?
Oh, Virgil did a video defining new weird, so you're gonna have to answer that yourself.
Yeah,
a weird kind of like squishy genre, but yeah, unless because I think because Vandermeer himself wrote a definition of it, and even he said like a lot of people were kind of working on this sort of like I'll know new weird when I see it, like I know it when I see it kind of a thing.
It's a weird one,
but it's usually fantasy, but not exclusively, and it's usually a secondary world, so it shouldn't be connected to our world at all. It should be its own wholesale universe, and usually a lot of focus on urban environments.
Oh,
so does that fit old weird, or are these things that? It sounds like the Area X stuff is weird fiction, and this is a new weird fiction, but may not be technically new weird. But it's weird. No. You know, isn't that
you're right, Virgil?
Well, hyphenated if you want to.
We're also reading Jeff and Ann Vandermeer's anthology called The Weird, and I know they also put out another anthology called The New Weird, which we haven't touched at all. But for The Weird, they have an opening essay that goes over the long history of the book and also gives some like preliminary definitions of what is weird fiction. If I was a little bit more prepared, I would have my notes open and ready to read from them. But from memory, I think we could say, what did we just talk about? We just recorded an episode on this, but we haven't published it. So it needs to, oh man.
I got it here, Zach.
It's okay, get it wrong.
You got it here? Spit a couple out, Bob.
So they quote Lovecraft saying, it's weird is a story that has a supernatural element, but does not fall into the category of traditional ghost story or gothic tale. So it's not something that's just bloody bones or sheeted from clanking chains. Instead, it is the pursuit of some indefinable and perhaps maddeningly unreachable understanding of the world beyond the mundane.
So is that from Lovecraft?
Yep.
So that's probably from his essay. He did an essay on supernatural fiction. So the anthology you guys are reading is going to be weird tales, not new weird. For some odd reason I thought you were jumping for the new weird, but you're going for the
weird.
I love it. That's even more exciting. You guys go quick, and I'm going to put this in the discussion or in the place under the video, whatever you call it, description. I'm going to put these guys' link. Go make sure to subscribe to them because they're going to be reading some awesome weird fiction, which for some odd reason is everybody's obsession right now, including my own. All of you. I think it started with Michael K. Vaughan and the Bookish Bryants. I don't know if you guys know about them. Started some kind of May horror weird thing, and it's been going great right now. I'm going to run for just a second and go grab my supernatural fiction by H.P. Lovecraft.
Sure. Fair enough. Is Brian K. Vaughan the saga? Am I thinking of the right Vaughan?
Yeah, you're thinking. Nope. Michael K. Vaughan has a YouTube channel. Michael K. Vaughan. He does lots of pulp books and everything else. That's probably what Chris is talking about. Yeah, he's got some great stuff. He has a whole thing like a shtick where he's got like a mummy in the background, like almost like a really nice Halloween decoration, and he's always leaning over and talking to it. Really excellent energy. If you were just a lot of fun. He did a. He's so personable. He's like so charming in his presentation. You're just like, I can just watch this guy all day. He's talking about books.
No, it's about Roger. Roger's really the
it's really the Roger show. That's right. He even has a Roger's random picks. That's the name of the mummy, by the way.
Roger the Mummy. How would you know? What's your name? Sorry. Bad mummy joke.
One thing about the weird, just to this is kind of bringing it back to Vandermeer, but the idea in weird fiction that there's something unknowable that's not of this world, and the protagonist becomes obsessed with it and is trying to chase after it. This is, you know, something that Jeff and Anne point at in their introductory essay. But this, to me, like, this is probably the biggest signpost of what makes the Area X tetralogy weird. Just constantly trying to approach Area X through all of these different, like, academic lenses or personal lenses, and no one being able to understand what it is.
Yeah. There's a moment. I'm going to try to do this without spoiling this. Let's see if I can do this. There is obviously a moment in this horror book where a character is confronted with the horror. I will go that far, and it's straight up just the prose. Like, and I was listening to this in my car. I have a couple books I'm reading, and a couple of books I listen to in my car. So I was listening to this in my car driving back from Colorado, like last year. And like, I was like just jumping in my seat as I was driving, because the prose is so good and just so strange. But to do this vaguely, so one of the problems that I've had with H.P. Lovecraft since I read him as a teenager, and I don't have as much of this problem now, so don't kill me in the comments here, is that H.P. Lovecraft depended on a moment, I felt like, in many of his stories where he would have to stop the narrative and say the person could not comprehend what it was that they saw before them, and sorry, I gotta put this in. They could not comprehend what they saw before them, so they went insane. And I always felt that was like it was always right to the point where I was like, no, describe it, like tell me what it is. And I feel like Jeff Vandermeer showed up in Annihilation and was like, oh, I'll describe it. And he describes it, and then the character gets past, turns around, and he does it twice. He describes it twice. So he's like, I don't know, I felt like he was like saying, this is the next step for weird. We're not going to stop. We're not going to close our eyes here. We're going to look at it. In fact, I'm going to look at it 2 times. And then if you think about the entirety of this book, it's just that of the whole tetralogy is that kind of repetition of looking at it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always think of weird fiction too as having an element of like denying your expectation. So like in a, you know, like so like a Lovecraft story I think about is like was it Whispers in the Dark? And if anyone's not familiar with that story, it's all about the Meow, which are kind of like crab.
I love that story.
Aliens,
Whisper
right?
in the darkness. Yeah.
So these flying crab people from Pluto. And it's like, I remember reading that story, and it tells you get the hint really early that that's going to happen. And I'm like, this is so dumb. This is what I remember thinking about. I was like, this is so dumb. But then you keep reading, and it's like he still makes it. It's like it doesn't matter that it's dumb because he flips it on you, and it becomes scary and
it's
creepy,
horrifying,
and it's awesome. And it's like that's what, to me, like something that's weird is when it takes something that shouldn't work and that defies your expectation and flips it on you, and you're kind of like, oh, that's a really weird direction we came from, and that's like it's how I kind of helps me to figure out if something's weird or not, I guess. So I don't know. I just see that in Lovecraft, and I see that I haven't read a lot of Vandermeer, actually. I've only read a little bit of his short stories. So
Annihilation,
yeah,
still worth it.
I'm probably going to read his City of Saints and Madmen. I've had that book forever and wanted to read it.
There it is. Lovecraft himself has forgiven me, so we're cool.
So great that he shows up in the chat.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Also, thank you, Lawrence, for jumping in. Lawrence, I think you're new to the channel, aren't you? Or somehow
We've seen Lawrence before.
Say again.
We've seen Lawrence before.
Yeah, with Curtis. Yeah.
Yeah,
with Curtis. But yeah, great comments. And Curtis says, "Oh my God, I hate the O. It was beyond human comprehension. Trust me, bro. thing. It's so lazy. If you want to find a way to keep it vague, find a more creative way of saying it. Do you think Lovecraft described the experience of being terrified? Well, I do. I think he was a good writer. Like what you were just saying, Virgil. Yeah, we have the crab creatures, but then we have the end, which is horrifying, and I'm not going to spoil it, but the description of what people have gone through in that story is terrifying. Lovecraft's a good writer, and yes, he was afraid of the entire century, as Lauren said. Yeah.
In a sense, too, it's like, I don't know, and it's hard to judge now, but how novel a concept was it for him to always take the camera away? You know, I mean, maybe that there could, you know, it's hard as a modern reader to know, you know, what it was like before Lovecraft.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if that might have been sort of like, oh, this is something like he always does this thing where he doesn't show it to you and it's so frustrating, but it works or something, you know, and maybe that was an energy that, well, it didn't work very well. He wasn't very popular in his own time, but but I mean, you know what I mean? I think maybe that's part of his charm, or it's definitely part of his style.
I feel like we interrupted Zach like 20 minutes ago.
Sorry, we probably did.
Oh no, my internet is awful. I don't remember what. Actually, yeah. So this actually ties into what we're talking about now. It was about Vandermeer and how he actually describes it. And I'm going to try to do this without any spoilers. But I think that Vandermeer still retains a little bit of the Lovecraft style, not describing it. But Chris, like you said, he tells you what it is. So I'm just going to throw one noun out there. He looks and he says panes of light, which is better than Lovecraft saying it's indescribable. But at the same time, you say, oh, okay, so it's like panes of light. But then if you stop for a second and think about it, you're like, what does that even mean? Like, what answers does that give us about Area X or the being that we see or any problems that the text sets up? So in this sense, I think Vandermeer retains the tradition, but he gives us a little bit more, but he never gives us a singular answer about anything. In at least book 1 and book 2, we haven't finished book 3 yet. So
I think he's doing something really deliberate too. And I want to look at Mountains of Madness. At the end of that, there's high specificity in what the monster is, but mostly in a I can't describe it specificity. The monster is coming at him and he's describing it as a train coming towards you and stopping at different stops, but going at such a speed you can't possibly comprehend it. There's eyeballs, but the character doesn't even know what the eyeballs are part of. The monster comes to you in a really foggy way, and that's kind of terrifying. And then at the end, they say, "Oh, we can't even describe what we saw after that." But in Annihilation versus Acceptance, we have the biologist who sees something at the very end of the book and describes it in about 4 different ways, as if this thing is shifting because it's so incomprehensible you can't really see it in one light. So panes of light, being drowned, you know, the experience of a huge wave hitting you, all of these other things. Orbs. Then later, when Ghostbird sees the exact same thing, she describes it in such high specificity that she says, this is just like a monster suit.
Right.
So you know, and it's like, wow, I'm just looking at something, I could see it too clearly, and it's not scary at all anymore. It's just a creature that I can taxonomize, that I could say it's got this part, it's got this part.
Right.
So I think he's looking at both problems, Vandermeer.
I think Vandermeer is a novelist that becomes a poet. Like it's really wild because there's these moments, and there's a big one in Absolution. I'm excited for you guys to read that.
Cool.
Where suddenly the language is heightened, and you're just in this poetic description of horror. It's absolutely incredible. That's cool. Do want to show this. I'm reading this now. Lovecraft's supernatural horror in literature. If you read this, and it sounds like what I'm going to try to do is read this and then go read the Vandermeer introduction you guys are talking about, because I think it would be interesting. And then, of course, you have Stephen King's Dance Macabre that would probably, you could do like a whole dissertation on those 3 things.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I love reading in kind of like the theoretical text with like tucking it in with the actual novels that we're reading too. I think it makes the discussion way better.
Yeah. Lovecraft was Lovecraft being best friends with Howard, complete opposites, is amazing.
Oh,
I
think it's similar in some ways.
I was always biased against Howard. I really was. And BookTube has cured me of that. And all three of you played a part in that. Because I mean, so many people talked about it. And then you got Virgil, you did a whole, I can't remember what you did on Lovecraft, but you told me what story to read. And then I read that story, and then you guys talked about the same story, which is Tower of the Elephant. Is that the one you guys did as well?
Yeah, and Scarlet Citadel.
Yeah, and I was just shocked because I was biased, and I don't mind admitting my own biases. That doesn't bother me. It was stupid, but like I really thought that he would be.
We did
like
too.
Conan writing Conan.
Yeah.
Conan. Yeah. And I was wrong. That last half, speaking of cosmic horror that turns into poetry, that last half of Tower of the Elephant. If you guys haven't read Tower of the Elephant, it's incredible.
Yeah, I read that book first in a short story collection of just random fantasy writing, and I didn't even at the time associate Conan with Robert E. Howard. Didn't really recognize that stuff. So I read this and I'm like, this is like a Conan story, because I don't even know if I'm not certain that he's even named as Conan in that story, or maybe only once. It's he's just like the thief or something, and a barbarian. And I was like, wow, this is really good. I always thought Conan stories were just kind of like throwaway, because I'd read like some Robert Jordan novel, you know what I mean, or something later. And I'm like, oh, this is really good. Is all this stuff like this? I should read more on Robert E. Howard. So
yeah, Steve says really it good here. If Tower of the Elephant doesn't convert you, I don't know what would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was just shocked because, of course, I watched the movie. So I'm seeing all these things that happened in the movie. But instead of a female with him running around and all that kind of stuff, there's suddenly this older thief that had planned it for years. And I was like, okay, this is like read a D&D adventure. And then he gets into this room and everything changes. I mean, it's wild. And I think that's another thing that Vandermeer is kind of looking towards is that stuff as well. Because I wouldn't have even have called him a cosmic horror writer. And boy, I was wrong on that count.
When you meet the elephant.
Yes.
I think we're surprised by how good his writing is in the beginnings of all of his stories. The description is so vivid, so rich. Yeah, he's much better than people give him credit for.
Absolutely. And his story is so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, his life story makes me sad. Real Conan is way smarter than people give him credit for. Legitimately great fiction.
Secret Fire Books.
Yes, Tim.
I love that channel.
Thanks for joining us, Tim.
What's going on, Tim?
My biggest Robert E. Howard wish list, I guess, would be his boxing fiction.
Yeah. No. Oh, who was just talking about that? I just watched the live that Jake did with Tim. And I think Tim brought up there's some kind of special order right now for somebody did a book of all his boxing fiction.
Wow.
Cool. Maybe it was Nick. Anyway, Tim, we'll know about that. Hopefully he'll comment. I think the movie did no favors for Robert E. Howard. Yeah, and I still love the movie.
I love the movie.
I really did.
Elevated like the character of Conan, but like the character of Conan based on the comic book. Like, and you know, it's like the comic book Conan. I mean, it's a comic book, so he's gonna have to be a little more, I don't know, of a caricature. You know, he doesn't like it's like the real Conan is like saying like, well, society is this and this, and has all these things to say about society, even though he's interacting with it all the time. But it's like the comic book Conan, it's like, all right, let's go kill some.
Yeah, let's punch a camel.
That's right.
Punch a camel. I'm a little bit. This is a question I've wanted to ask you for a really long time, and I never asked you in the comments, Bob. What are the books behind you on the top of your shelf?
Okay, before I start, don't buy these.
Okay.
I'm still working on them. I bought my prototypes so I could see how they look, but because I do all the design, so let me see if I can reach them. Fortunately, I put on pants, so if I stand up, it's not. So these are. It's a fake magazine, I guess I would say. None of the people are real. So here's one cover for book 12, and it's by Maeve Barba. But of course, Maeve Barba doesn't exist. But she's the editor, and it's this group of writers who all live in Bremerton, and they have this weird writing commune, and they all come out with short stories. And so there's just different authors that are all made up. Bob Selcross, Taylor Kirby, all of these different authors, but they're all me.
So these are your own books.
Yeah. So my wife said I couldn't buy books anymore, so I got away with buying Dune, and then
my own.
and then I could only have my own live streaming with pants on. Well, just in case I had to stand up to grab a book. But it's been fun because when we were reading Dangerous Visions, like for instance, when we talked about the Malley system earlier by Miriam DeFord, it was really violent. But then I was like, that is a really interesting idea that she's come up with. So I started writing a story called the Malley O'Hare system. And it's if you took that kind of idea of making people relive something, and then instead of just putting it in prisons, these scientists decide, okay, let's do it in a more whole scale. So it's in prisons and in schools. And so the idea is forcing people to go through certain things to come out better. But then what are the problems with that? So it's been fun to write stuff and then also read stuff, because you can get really inspired reading something like Dangerous Visions. If you want to change the story or write your own fan fiction version of it, it's been fun. Yeah.
Cool cover. Now, I want to, while you're over there, grab your copy of The Hobbit that I see up there.
Oh, yes. This is. Sorry, I'm stuck on headphones. This was a really special. This was my dad's copy.
Ooh.
And so after he passed,
I
had this copy. But the cool thing was, I looked at where he bought it, and it was really neat because when I got to come back to Taiwan to be back with my fiance, we're married now, but we had to be separated for a long time, and then we got to go to the bookstore that my dad actually bought this copy from about 40 years ago. So that was really special to see the address and then go and find out the real place. So
that's wonderful.
It
was
awesome
cool
story.
Yeah. I've got a similar one.
Oh, you got the same? Cool. This is better condition. Mine's starting to fall apart.
Check the address where you bought that.
What's the price on the flap?
Oh, let me see.
It should be down on the bottom.
NT 45, so new Taiwan dollars 45.
Oh, okay. I won't know how to figure that out.
Go ahead, get
the $1.20.
$1.20. Mine's $3.95.
Wow.
Yeah, I love these older copies. This book is one of my favorites from my childhood. I absolutely loved this book, and I know I shouldn't have the right to talk because I've spoken slightly negatively about Lord of the Rings in the past, but I absolutely loved The Hobbit.
We read them all. I loved them all. We even read Silmarillion, and we almost gave up. And then
did you guys do a podcast on it?
We did, and Sean dropped out. I was like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Quick couple of Robert E. Howard things. Where was I? Oh, the movie. Oh no! Please tell me we're not launching into Jay Momoa hate. Is that the director?
Jason Momoa? Oh
no, Jay Momoa. Oh, maybe he's
guy.
talking about the new one. I think I'm the only person in the Alpha Quadrant who liked that movie. I liked the old one. I don't know about the new one. I never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it either. So if it's
good,
good,
Jason Momoa.
Tower of the Elephant was published in 1933. So did Lovecraft influence Howard? Both died far too young indeed. Absolutely.
Pen pals, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, there was a whole circle of people that Lovecraft and them wrote to each other. Streaming is a gentlemanly endeavor that requires wearing pants.
Thank you. Yes, I've learned my lesson.
That is a beautiful old edition. Tim loves all things Hobbit and Lord of the Rings related.
Me too.
None of the writers are real. None of us are real, neither, Bob. It's just you.
Barkley was right.
Voiceless it cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, mouthless mutters. This must be the
one of the poems from
the
Whisper
riddle from Gollum. Voiceless it cries.
Riddles in the Dark. That's what it was. Riddles in the Dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the
I don't have it off the top of my head.
So you wrote a series of stories and then rename like under different pseudonyms and then published your own book for yourself. Is that? I'm just trying to make sure I understand because it seems so cool.
I wouldn't say it's cool, but thank you. It's fun. It's fun. It's something I like to do. I don't know. No one reads them except for me. But yeah, all those and some in the back, those are all me. So they're all fake names that are all similar to my name, like Bob Selcross, Eric Thralby, E.T. Starman.
That's
a
awesome.
Fun one.
I love it. Is it available? Is it something?
E.T. Starman.
E.T. Starman. It's available. Just don't buy it because I'm still fixing some of them. I'll send you some copies. Okay. Yeah.
Well, you don't do that, but it just seems. I love the covers, and I love the idea. It's just like it's like all these stories are technically the same person, but it's like. Now let me ask this. This is maybe a little silly, but did you adopt a different persona to write each story? Like, I'm going to write this as though I'm this guy.
I try to, and I don't think it's very successful. I think the voice probably comes out all the same, but I think the interest and the structure for the stories are quite different for each author because they have their own. Like Maeve Barba is really interested in physics and equations, so she will do different things that are like, for example, she has Elevator Macbeth, which is if you did not stage Macbeth as Sleep No More, on like 4 floors. What if you put every scene on 1 floor? How many buildings would it take? What if you put every word on 1 floor? How many buildings would it take? What if you did it by every syllable? Now, how many actors would it take and how many floors would it take? How many cities would we need? So,
I love that idea. That's
walked
awesome.
into some weird shit.
All right. Borges, almost.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay.
No problem. You can walk into some weird shit.
Neither Lovecraft nor Howard wore pants while podcasting. True story.
That's right.
Riddles in the Dark, best scene in a kid's book ever. Incredible. I really, it was my favorite fantasy, and this and Mary Stewart's Merlin trilogy I absolutely loved as a kid. So you've read some horror. I did a bunch of research just because I've been watching your channel for a while. You guys talked about this book.
Oh, that was very good.
Yeah, you think
that was really good?
I've been curious about Dan Simmons for a while, and I'll be honest, this one freaked me out from its description.
Yeah, it's freaky.
Is it really gory?
There are parts that are quite gory. Like there's I probably shouldn't say what, but there is one scene that I was like, oh God, this is hard to get through. But it's short. It's just the description. It's not like gore happening. It's the description of a body, and it's just really disgusting. The end is quite disturbing and sad. You know how in Annihilation, even though there is crazy stuff happening, the detailing is quite sober,
right?
Quite straightforward. Song of Kali is like that too. Until it gets into those scenes and it becomes almost like a fugue state of describing them. But it was very, very, very good. I really thought that was a great book.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I want to check it out. Just I'm trying to figure out where to go with Dan Simmons because there's so many different people love him, and some talk about Summer of Night. And of course, if you're sci-fi, everybody puts it's usually the third, second book on every what it's called Hyperion. Yeah.
Have you read
3
Hyperion?
thumbs up.
No, I haven't read any Dan Simmons.
Start there.
Right there?
Oh my God. Start there.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've read that one, Virgil?
Oh yeah. It's he tells a sci-fi story, but he tells it in the style of like Canterbury Tales.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. And each one of the stories plays into a different genre. So there's a romance in there. There's a what else we got? There's like a private eye story, private eye cyberpunk.
This sounds like the story you guys would write for your podcast.
It was perfect for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It was so good.
It was,
Yeah.
Interesting.
We did an episode per story in
Yeah.
Hyperion.
Is
That's
that
a
on
really
your
good way to
YouTube
handle
channel?
It's on it's audio only. So you can find
Right.
the audio episodes on YouTube, but
Oh, good.
yeah, they were published on Spotify originally.
So those are the ones that have just the thumbnail, or the
Yeah,
audio
yeah.
only ones. So have you put up your entire back catalog on YouTube?
I don't know.
Yeah, they weren't recorded in video, but basically it's like it's just a matter of like syncing. You know, you hit the sync button from Spotify to YouTube, but it does it in its own
power.
like podcast
Okay.
playlist because YouTube Music is its own podcast hosting service. So
Okay.
it's a weird technical thing that means a lot of our stuff is duplicated on YouTube between a video episode and an audio episode.
Oh, okay. I do see that. I do see the duplicates there.
Okay.
And I usually click video, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go look at Hyperion. That sounds awesome.
They're
Yeah,
great.
did you guys read any farther into
Oh,
the
yes.
next two? Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Actually, I want to hear your opinion about that because Chris brought up Southern Reach and then Hyperion too, and I think lots of people have very different opinions on this. Some people say Southern Reach gets worse. Some people say Hyperion gets better. I want to see, what do you think? Did Hyperion get better or worse as you went the series, or did you read more?
Oh, me? I have only read Hyperion.
Oh, thank God!
I haven't read haven't read Southern Reach. I know. I'm like, it's really hard for me.
Don't go any further.
I think a lot of people could stop at Annihilation for Vandermeer as well.
Okay,
But
Hyperion got
Right off
worse.
authority. I wouldn't write off.
No, I disagree. I think Hyperion has to just, but I think Southern Reach gets better every book.
Okay.
I have to disagree with you on that one, Bob.
Let's go, Chris.
Yeah, but everybody knows I hate anything that feels like workplace drama. And I just that Annihilation like reinvented Weird Tales horror for me. It like brought me back to being a teenager, and while I'll admit Acceptance has a really intense hallucinatory ending like Annihilation does, none of it ever hits that point again for me. Absolution gets close. But yeah, I just and it's not bad. Like I had arguments with people on the channel because they were like, no, Authority's the best. And
wow.
And yeah, I see where they're coming from, because there's a creepiness to I had one commenter say the best thing about Authority is that it occurs. I wish I could give this person credit. It occurs in the real world, where Annihilation is this place that doesn't really exist. The terror of your workplace is more striking than the terror of some domed in area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. So I get it, but yeah, just for me, like it's getting harder and harder for me to get like jump up and down like a 7-year-old when I read good fiction. And Annihilation did that for me, really, truly.
Yeah.
Hyperion will get you there.
Will it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you bring up the workplace drama, because that's not something I normally read. And I read that book that Curtis recommended, The Employees, and I was like, oh my God, this book is so good. I was like, I think the audiobook is like 3 hours or something. And I was like 20 minutes into it. I'm like, this is one of the best books I've read this year. I know it. I was like, damn, this book is so cool.
Do you remember the author on that one?
Olga Ravin.
I have got to try that.
It's so good, and it's so weird because I don't think there's anyone even I don't think anyone really even has a name in that book. There's a huge cast, right? But no one's really named, so you're never really sure who's talking.
Oh, I gotta listen to it.
Here, I'm reading.
Check that out.
If I might have it over here to hold it up. Yeah, this was all Curtis, by the way, too. He found this book, read it, and talked about it. And I was like, I got to get this book. That's well, in America, that's what it looks like, right? Yeah, you probably can't see the print, because the print is like that super tiny. The Employees.
Let me make you bigger, Virgil.
Yeah,
there you go.
Super Virgil.
Like camera.
Oh,
yeah, it's a great cover.
Really great. That. It's all about like work like exploitation, but it's this like space like exploration mission, right? But there's humans, and then there's, I don't remember what they're called, but they're not human, but they look human. You can't tell if somebody's not a human or not, but they're like programmed, and there's a whole thing going on there. And then they discover these objects on this planet, and the objects have sentience, but they don't talk. And so they're bringing some of them back, and then some of the people that aren't human start thinking different thoughts, and their programming starts messing up, and then it starts to blur, the lines start getting really blurred. And then there's a really, really cool interview with the writer where she talks about how she thinks about objects aren't any different than people. Like it was this really interesting conversation of like, oh, she really thinks this.
Is this an
like, this
epistolary
is like
novel?
something that she really is into it. Like she really kind of thinks of it as like, this book is a thing, and it has its own, it's like, it's no more or less than important than I am or something. It was like, or this rock. It was like, this is crazy. I love this. But she's very, very well spoken. It's not like just a crazy person. She doesn't have her hair all nuts and she's like, books are people. It's not like that, but really cool.
Isn't it all just like interview transcripts and stuff?
This is, so her native language must be German or a Germanic language, but the subtitles were auto translated for me. So YouTube did all that work.
Oh, animism, yeah.
It's curious. Yeah, that's who I got. That's who did that original review, like five books.
Cool.
I gotta read this.
Yeah,
we'll go Robin.
We gotta do that, Bob. We gotta do that.
I think she's got something else coming out too.
Yeah, you've been pushing that one for a while, Virgil. I gotta get it.
I just think when I read this, I'm like, how have I never heard of this book before? So, I don't know.
It was very unique.
What have you guys done in fantasy, just out of curiosity? Have you come to fantasy yet?
So let's see, Lord of the Rings books, for sure. I think we were counting the Robert E. Howard books as rather short stories as fantasy.
Yeah.
What else have we done?
I'm looking up Spotify right now, Zach.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I'll put you on the spot.
That's how it is sometimes. That's how it is.
So, like for a genre like fantasy, how do you decide? How do you decide what to pick, and how do you decide in a genre that's going for so long? How do you decide what era to pick from?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, the most important thing for me is, do we want to read it? And usually that boils down to, have we heard good things about it? Are we getting the sense from other people that it's really important or that it does something really interesting? And we can't know that, and whether that's true or not until we actually read it. But it's tempting to just be like, let's look at all the Ballantine books, the original ones, and just read them in chronological order of publication. But
fantasy, yeah.
But I think at this point, it's just kind of like, well, we want to read this. We've never read it before, so let's start with that. Start with what we want to read.
Well, Zach, in cowboy terminology, we have shot our wad. We have only read, dude. That's more sci-fi, I guess.
Cowboys say it all the time.
That is all of our fantasy. We've already mentioned it all.
Well,
that's it.
Tim says read Elric, and I've heard great things, and I've read some Moorcock, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, we definitely want to read more.
And I mean, Moorcock's important. He's kind of this is a terrible way to say this because he's nothing like Harlan Ellison, but he's the Ellison over in the UK that started the new wave. So that's I bet his stuff's good. I love his work with Hawkwind, the band.
Yeah, Elric is a response to Conan.
That's very
everything that I think Michael Moorcock said, that he wrote his main character as being the kind of guy that Conan would beat up.
Cool.
Right. So Elric is everything Conan is, Elric isn't. So Elric starts as like the emperor of the known world, essentially. Right. He's sickly. He has to take drugs to live.
Oh, I have heard about it. Yeah.
Drug addicted necromancer eats people's souls with a sentient demon sword.
I'm in.
Cool.
He doesn't want to go on adventures. He doesn't want to go on adventures.
Yep.
It's great. It's like all the things that but it works, and Moorcock makes it work, and it's never like, oh, I don't want to go on this adventure. It's like, oh, this guy's so boring. You're like, this is just so crazy. Like, okay. I definitely would say there's a tone change, I think, in the second or third book, where Elric becomes a lot more anti-hero than he was in like the first book.
Or anti-hero.
And those books are real slim too. So
I have all my DAWs by number, so if it's in my DAWs, I can't find it, and all the Elric stuff's in my DAWs, so I can't. Was it Le Guin who translated ancient folk tales from a language she didn't know? That absolutely sounds like something Le Guin would do. I don't know specifically if she did, but there's another great idea for fantasy is Ursula K. Le Guin. I really enjoyed.
She's also
the second. I know a lot of people love the first and the third, and the second is, it depends on the person, but the second book in the Earthsea series, and they're thin reads, was incredible, and one of the most claustrophobic things I'd read until I read Elizabeth Engstrom's When Darkness Loves Us.
Yeah, that was also amazing.
We did Le Guin's Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas for dystopian fiction, and that was great. I think about that one all the time.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, she's an interesting writer for me. I've already talked about this on other live streams, but yeah, I have to get past this halfway point, and then I love her books more than anything. But there's this. She has a very far psychic distance from her characters. Yeah. So it just seems like it's almost being reported. Somebody said it's like a mythic telling, the way that she does it. So you're not very close to the characters at first. If you like Elric and Moorcock, an even better written variation on the same vibe is the Pastel City by M. John Harrison.
Yes, those are so good. Harrison's basically the guy who came up with the term New Weird. He's the one who coined it.
Okay.
Cool. Harrison.
Now we're just helping.
Bob, I'm glad you're writing all these down.
Yeah.
I reviewed Pastel City. Pastel City is, the first one is very much like kind of like a post-apocalyptic variety sword and sorcery story, kind of like Elric. And then the next story, which I've only read part of, and so I need to go back and reread it. It gets really weird really quick, like really weird.
Cool. Yeah.
And those are also slim books as well. Okay. So you can get like the whole, they call it the Viraconium series, which is if I can find the book right behind me.
Gonna have Google help me on the spelling on that one.
Yeah, that'll help.
Have you guys?
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wait, let me put you this way.
Yeah, so these are really good. And Harrison is like always loves to defy expectations, which is one of the things I love about him. And so there's I think 3 novels and a few short stories in here.
That's very cool.
Is that a dinosaur coming out of an egg or a bird?
Nope, that is a mechanical chick.
Oh, cool.
Because the one of the main character at some point is visited by a mechanical vulture. And it kind of follows him around and tells him, you have to go visit this guy. And he's like, well, who is that? And he's like, you just have to go visit him. And he's like, well, I got other stuff to do. There's like this other empire invading us right now. And the bird just follows him around for months and just keeps telling him, like, you need to come with me. And so finally he's like, okay, fine, we'll go. That's a very hacked up, kind of hot take, goofy way to say it, but it's kind of right.
We gotta listen to
animals. I gotta sell the book somehow, right?
We gotta bring up Gene Wolfe.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys heard of Gene Wolfe?
Heard of, but never read.
So this might be the fantasy you're looking for. Cool. Although people might fight you over it's sci fantasy.
Okay.
We'll call it sci fantasy. Yeah, for me, that's been the most challenging but fun I've had. I think you guys would really like it because the first book, you're just along for the ride and it feels like nonsense. But as time goes on through those books, there's a quote, and I don't know who it's from, but you start Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe on the reread. So I mean, it's wild. And Virgil and I have been going through them book by book, and it is the most complex fantasy I've ever tried to do.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, for you guys, I think if you were like, if you just said, tell us the fantasy that you think we would both, that we would like best, I think that would be my answer, that it would challenge you, but I think really excite you.
Cool.
If you feel like you could sign up for the whole ride, do it. If you're not like, and knowing that like, ooh, this is going to be like, we have to get through it. Cause it is you have to get through it to get it, to like appreciate it. Cause like a halfway journey is kind of like, that book was just weird. What was going on? But if you get through it, I think that you'll at least say like, okay, I'm glad I made the trip, even if you didn't love it. So that's why I usually recommend something, a one-off or a shorter series of his at first, if somebody's not sure, because you have to kind of like trust him as a writer.
How long of a full ride are we talking?
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me get the books.
Oh, no.
Is this a road trip across Texas or a road trip across the United States?
So these books are originally like only like 250 or 300 pages in paperback, but it's dense reading. And that's where I think the difference is. It's not like a, this isn't a beach read, right? Like you read a chapter and you'd be like, oh, what?
Oh, is that the whole thing?
That's the whole series.
There is a fifth one that was done later that you'll want to read, but this is, and it's one book, and I think that's really important to say. This. Let me move me around here. This is one book, and I think that's the mistake that I made when I first read it. Is I was like, I'll just read each book and talk about each book, which is fun. These are super fun to talk about, and people really enjoy you talking about them, and they especially like to see you looking confused and like what the hell is going on. But yeah, I realized halfway through my reviews, this is as far as I've gotten. I realized halfway through my reviews that I was like, it's like Blackwater by Michael Moorcock. It's 6 books, but it's only one book. But I'm telling you, this I think this is what you guys will like the best. I really do.
Okay.
Cool. We're doing Westerns next, but I think that I could personally say, yeah, we could do Gene Wolfe, 4 books. Hey,
we could jump on that first.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's really wild. Let's see. Book of the New Sun. Let's see what Jake said. You guys have yet to sell me on Wolfe. It's really hard and you won't understand it. Also, will take a year of your life. Also, it doesn't make any sense. I
would read. There's a different books I would recommend. If somebody's unsure, then I would say don't start with it, because you don't want to, you don't want to read part of the book and be like, I'm done. Like, I don't want this. Like I said, you kind of have to be like, I've read that one book and it was good. It really did some cool stuff at the end.
You got to finish.
Book will do cool stuff. You'll definitely enjoy I think you would enjoy the experience, but you have to kind of be in for the whole ride and know that, if you get off halfway, that you kind of miss something,
Book of the New Sun is a picaresque novel, though. So even though it's one novel, it's like weird episodes in the story of this guy Severian's life. Yeah, that's true.
Cool. Nice thing about reading for a show is that you can not like a book, but
right?
You can't stop reading it because you got a publication schedule ahead of you.
Right? Yeah. Matthew G says it's not that hard. I think I really think you'd enjoy it. It's a scary guy with a cool sword doing cool stuff. And then Lawrence said Wolfe is Joyce, needs dedication, and I think that
Joyce with the sword
puts it perfectly. Yeah, Wolfe is Joyce, needs dedication. I'm still freaked out from the beginning of this video when I was hearing that echo. That was so confusing.
There's no echo.
Yeah,
it would be great if it was echoing the whole time. We didn't tell you.
When you guys are done with this video, go watch the beginning and see me really feeling terror down into my soul. Terminus est, yeah. So that's
can you cut it, or does it publish just the whole thing? Just plot.
Oh, you can't cut that. That was
all of it. It just
yeah. Now that we've referenced it, we can't.
Yeah, it just puts it all plop. The minute it says we were live, it does that. So
cool.
Yeah, that was so weird. And I just had a YouTube tab open and it was like, you want to watch this?
Oh
no, I don't.
It was reminding you of your own stream.
And then Virgil's like, dude, do you have another screen open? So how did you choose romance?
It's a act of humbling yourself, I think. Because I think for all of my life, at least, I can't speak for Bob, but I was kind of like, why would I read that? And working at Pal's Books, there's the romance section. I'd go over there and I'd see, you know, half naked men wearing pirate clothing
Fabio.
or women
Fabio.
clinging onto a werewolf man and just being like, what's going on here? But you know, as part of this thing and saying we're going to read stuff outside of our comfort zone, we said we got to do romance. And
Yeah.
I got to say, the romance books that we've read have been some of the most enjoyable books that we have read by far.
I'm going to throw this question up here from Matthew G. What genres books have you unexpectedly enjoyed?
Romance. So if for anyone in the chat who is listening, there is a great series of books called
Rebel Blue Ranch.
Yeah, you know where I was going.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a romance book by someone named Lila Sage, and it is a cowboy western romance book. And
Are these
I
correct?
don't want to try it. I'm not.
They're being
really
written.
should.
Strange.
Part of
It's really
part of
good.
what's so interesting about it is that, like, you know, you think about different genres and the different kind of perspectives they have on the world. So like Private Eye books, you know, the world is corrupt, but we're gonna stay true to ourselves and get our way through it. Or horror novels, you know, there's the mundane world, but something supernatural is here that's going to hurt us or, you know, reveal some truth about life. But with romance books, they're fundamentally optimistic in a way that is just like, it allows the author to be really, really fun and playful. And I think that if you kind of just let them happen and kind of see how they're put together and the beats of what's going on and how people fall for each other and what the book has to say about the way people should behave with each other and how they should not behave with each other, they end up being really, really fun books. Really, really fun.
You know what? You said that name, and I was like, do we know who that is? And I do know who that is. And those covers are absolutely gorgeous.
They're so
on those
good.
books. Oh my God. I was like, I don't know if these books are any good, but I'm really tempted just because of the cover. I love the covers for those books. It's really, I just had a conversation with my sister about those books. I'm like, I don't know if they're good, but these covers are awesome. I don't even read this kind of stuff and it looks cool.
They were
You could
so
just do
good.
an audiobook, you know?
Yeah.
You just blast
All right,
through
I'll
it.
try
It's
it.
great.
I'm
It's great.
Delightful. We got to we did a show with the Witty Banner Book Club, and they turned us onto these books, and they were like, "How filthy, dirty, smutty do you want to get?" And we're like, "Oh, we'll go as far as you want." And it's great. What I was really surprised by was liking the erotica, because in these romance books there are little scenes, and boy, does Lila Sage get detailed. But it's great. It's great. And we've read some stinkers as far as in romance too. Any genre has some stinkers, but her writing is really fun. The characters are really good and really well thought out, and the conflict always keeps you reading. She is great making a story that just hooks you, and you have to get to the end of the book. And it's become one of my favorite series. She might write more, but the last book just came out in March this year, and she said she's only going to do 4, but it's been a series that I'm always looking forward to the next book.
That's awesome. That's so cool to hear that. It is. It's really exciting, because I thought, well, you know, the book, will it even ever live up to its cover? That's awesome.
It
It's
does.
so cool to hear. It's so cool to hear.
I love the idea that there's masterpieces in every genre.
For sure.
I think that's really interesting, that you can find that every genre has the book that you will love. Somebody brought up Daphne du Maurier. I'm super bad at French pronunciation. I apologize.
Me too.
Great for horror and romance. Incredible. I loved Rebecca as well. Have you guys read any du Maurier?
No.
But I want to. I think you were talking about Rebecca in either the previous Liminal episode or the one before it. You were talking about how much you loved it.
I do love it. And she also did, that's up too high. I'm not going to try to grab that. I'll need the stairs. She also did a short story called Don't Look Now that was made into a 70s horror movie that is probably one of the strangest horror movies I've ever seen, and well worth a watch. But she also wrote the short story to the birds.
I did not know that.
Pulp Mortem's not into the romance talk, so we know what subject we're going to bring up for
what about the erotica?
Yeah, Jake, this is what we're talking about when you're our guest here.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I did a whole thing for for Valentine's Day. I read read erotica for a month, and some of it was like not. I was like, well, I read like Dinosaur Erotica.
I saw that. I saw
It was terrible. But then there was some of it was like, this book was actually really good. I was like, the Chuck Tingle stuff was actually like really fun and goofy. It's very graphic, but really hilarious.
Did you read My Hot Pterodactyl Boyfriend?
Oh, I didn't read that. I did.
I want to read that.
About it. I read Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer. I didn't read that.
These titles are fantastic.
No, the cover, they changed the cover. It used to have this amazing cover, and they went to something that isn't as good. I was going to buy it just for the cover, but they changed it, and I couldn't get the original cover. So I'm like, I don't know anymore. It was an all right story. It wasn't the best of them. The Chuck Tingle dinosaur stories were the best. Or like, where like this woman has a lesbian love affair with the jet ski. You know,
yeah.
It's like just, and it sounds so
big.
But that's what's great is it's so bizarre, and it just keeps going. It doesn't even slow down to be like, nobody's going like a jet ski. They're like, oh, this jet ski is talking to you about how you're kind of hot, and she's like, oh, thanks. And you're like, okay,
I'm gonna ride that jet ski.
literally.
Yes.
I really want to read that Shrek erotica book, like Get in My Swamp.
No.
That keeps showing up in our feed for some reason.
I know. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know who's engaging with that algorithm.
Did you guys say you were going to be reading westerns next, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do fantasy.
westerns were you thinking about?
Well, so we're kind of cheating a little. We're not cheating, but we've read a lot of the classic westerns, and we really want to read Cormac McCarthy. So we're just gonna. They say McCarthy is kind of like a post-western or writes in the western tradition, even if for me it's a little hard to see sometimes, but we're gonna explore it. So I don't remember which books we're reading. We're the Border trilogy and the one that everyone likes a lot, Blood Meridian. Yeah,
but we have some others we were going to do too. I just can't find them.
I'm a big Murtry fan, so that's why I asked it. But whichever, it's all cool.
You say Murtry?
Larry McMurtry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have not read him yet. He was on our list that Bob is looking up right now.
Huge fan. Yeah, huge fan. So good, so good.
What do you recommend? If you've got a favorite.
How Western are you? Are you looking for little gunslinging, or are you looking for a set in the West?
We can go deep.
Any direction. Yeah. I've loved almost every Western that we've read.
Yeah. So like there's a really great love triangle that's a more modern Western. There's really not a whole lot called Leaving Cheyenne.
Okay.
It's a really, really good love triangle story. I thought was just really beautiful, like super good. If you're looking more for of course he wrote Lonesome Dove, so there's that's the monster book. Everyone puts that as like either the number 1 or the number 2 best Western ever.
Incredible.
Yeah. It is incredible. It is big though. I'm a fan of his Berry Bender series, which is a little earlier. It's right not long after the Louisiana Purchase, and it's the first book's called Sin Killer, and it's all about this wealthy English lord and his family going on a hunting trip in America, and their main character is his eldest daughter Tasman, and it's her story, and she meets Jim Snow, the Sin Killer, and they end up getting married very quickly. Like they have this thing, and he's a very a man of the outdoors, right? And he's called a Sin Killer because he's kind of like a Bible thumper. Really, really great. Such good, amazing character work. Really, really, really good.
Western's really good.
It's really kind of hard to express how good his character work is.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll definitely read those.
Thank you.
The Sin Killer sounds good.
What have been some of the favorites that we've read together, Bob? Of
In
course,
any
Charlie.
genre?
Western.
Oh, Shane, True Grit, we liked a lot. Butcher's Crossing was a hit.
Oh my God,
John loved Butcher's Crossing.
Who was Butcher's Crossing by?
That's John Williams, who is more famous on the internet for his book Stoner, which is like about an aging academic with a meaningless life kind of a thing. It's a very, very good one. But he wrote a Western novel, and it is basically just about people going out. It's about the main character is basically like think of like an American romantic, like someone who reads a lot of Emerson, and he leaves college because he's like, I'm sick of reading about this kind of stuff. I want to go out to the American West. And he goes out and joins a buffalo hunting expedition. And what you get is basically straight out of a horror novel. Like they're just trapped out there and it's just slaughter of thousands of animals. And it's incredible. Butcher's Crossing.
Awesome. I will have to look into it.
The leader of the expedition is basically Ahab. Oh, he just have to kill everything.
He's obsessed. Okay.
He's obsessed.
Awesome.
It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We did compare it to like a Moby Dick of the American West.
Yeah. Stuck on land. Landlocked Moby Dick.
That is a genre that I haven't read much in. And I'm out in the American Southwest, so
you don't need to read it. You're living it.
Yeah. Yeah, city boy style. But yeah, I come across like huge collections of what's the big guy now? I can't think of his name. Everybody's trying to sell him out here on Marketplace because everybody's parents collected the
Louis L'Amour, probably.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yes.
He's great.
Yeah.
I see a lot of those collections going up myself too. I just see like you said, an older generation was really in love with them, and the newer generation is like, these are my dad's books. I don't want them.
Yeah. And then Max Brand. Have you guys heard of Max Brand?
Yeah, I've seen the name. We haven't read him.
Big horror writer. And I was interested because I'm reading this because I just pick up random anthologies and read the weird stories in them. Horror times 10, and I opened it up and I was shocked that this has a story by Max Brand, which is apparently him doing a horror story.
Cool.
Called The Receding Brow. So that's something I'm going to check out. But yeah, I've heard, I don't know. It sounds like it could be terrifying. But I've heard that I would love Lonesome Dove. But I've never tried it.
Mm-hmm.
On our list, Mickey Spillane, our favorite, I guess you could say
most
hated, the world's most hated, but our
writing gorilla
favorite, the gorilla of writing, detective novel. He wrote a couple Western novels, and I really want to get into them. If you guys don't know Mickey Spillane, he was one of the top-selling authors in the United States in the 20th century, but he's almost never talked about anymore. His name is Mike Hammer, and he started out as a comic book private eye, but it's like, where most people think of noir and they think, oh, highbrow, it's dark, it's edgy, it's nihilistic. Cool. Mike Hammer is that, but like reduced down to a caricature. He just goes around beating people up, getting blackout drunk, and having sex with people. It is incredible. The Mike Hammer books. The first one is called.
Nick's read them.
The first one is called I, the Jury, as in like judge, jury, and executioner. And the picture is just him holding a gun, point of view perspective. It's incredible.
It sounds awesome.
Love it.
So I
love hard-boiled detective stories, so I'm cool with that.
You'll be disappointed.
Oh my god.
So I think Constance said Chris had a Lovecraft moment. I did. The beginning of this is just so confusing. Wolfe designed the Pringles tubes, right? Start there. Yeah, Gene Wolfe was an engineer and he worked on the Pringles can.
He made the
I am familiar with his work then.
Gene Wolfe short stories, any favorites? I have Starwater Strains, have enjoyed a couple others. Meh. And Matthew says The Island of Dr. Death and Other Stories is a good place to start. And I just wanted to pop this up here just so that everybody knows Matthew is not crazy. That is literally the name of this Gene Wolfe book.
It's a great title.
Yeah, Dr. Death. Oh, The Island of Dr. Death and Other Stories.
I think he takes that title and he moves the words around a lot. Like there's the Death of Dr. Island, or
really?
And he does it. I think there's a few stories where those words get shuffled around a bit, and he's like playing around with it. So cool. I don't know. I've not read a lot of his short stories, surprisingly. Only a handful. I can't even remember which ones. But I enjoyed them, but I just don't remember what they were.
Mr. Bandana Head says these chats are so good, like coffee shop talk, a true hidden gem. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, we have fun.
It's easy when you have good guests,
Yes,
which we've had so far, which is awesome.
yeah, well, it's just weird because we don't usually. I mean, we break into different genres. Somehow with Curtis, we started talking about heavy metal. But it was fun.
We can talk about heavy metal.
You want to talk about heavy metal? There's a lot of people on this chat that are very knowledgeable about heavy metal, but just having you guys on here, I'm thinking of all these different genres.
I got to throw this one. Zach, Zach might like this band, but I think more people should. The Callous Dowboys. They just came out with a new album a couple weeks ago called "I Don't Want to See You in Heaven." They got a spoonerism for a name. Oh yes. They are great. Yeah.
They're kind of in the Dillinger Escape Plan kind of technical kind of mathcore vein.
Mathcore is so interesting to me because I like virtuosos on their instruments, and some of that math metal, just insane, mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah.
Tim is our local heavy metal expert.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Secret Fire books.
Just subscribe to Wheel of Genre. You won't regret it.
Yes.
If you guys haven't, please do so. I am shocked, and I don't know if it's because the algorithm is confused because you do different genres, but I'm blown away that you guys don't have more subscribers.
It's definitely because the algorithm doesn't know what to do with us, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we do it for the love.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's what I had to tell myself because I just was like, I need a slight break from science fiction, and I was like, I can't. I now read science fiction and only science fiction for the rest of my life, and it was a terrifying thought. And I love science fiction, but yeah, I was like, dude, I got to do something else, and the algorithm can go suck eggs, whatever.
Yeah. Trapped in SF hell.
Yeah. What's the wolf horror with the guy in the walls? Liminal. So, Lawrence, when you say a guy trapped in the walls, I don't think of Wolfe. I think of Lovecraft. I did a video on Lovecraft's In the Walls of Eric's, I believe it's called, which is a sci-fi story, and it was. When I read Lovecraft back in the day when I was a teenager, this was the story that scared me more than any other Lovecraft story ever did. And the idea, a high school kid sent him the idea, and so I think his last name was Sterling. And so Lovecraft rewrote it. And so it was kind of this team. You'll find it in any Lovecraft books that have all of the Lovecraft collaborations in it. It's about a guy that is looking for this very specific rock on Venus. It's a Venus story. And he comes to this clearing, and it has this, he can see this wonderful rock that is huge, that has all the power they need for a city in Venus. And there's a skeleton of a human there by the rock. And he's like, that's weird. And so he starts walking up to it, and he runs into this invisible wall. So then he starts he finds an opening in the invisible wall and starts getting stuck in this maze. And I mean, it is one of the greatest sci-fi ideas and one of the scariest stories I've ever read. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Lawrence, but thanks for bringing it up because I just want to talk about it all the time.
That one's on Horror Babble if you want to read it.
Oh, did you say Horror Babble?
Yeah, Horror Babble has it.
Great podcast.
Oh, I love them.
Wonderful podcast. Heavy Metal Magazine just relaunched. Get your number one now.
Mine is in the mail.
Oh, shit, I got to get
here any day.
I'm not an expert, just a dumb scene kid who never grew up. Nah, man, you're an expert.
I don't know. He's got some pretty good knowledge.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. So I think
somebody has now.
I think we fooled our chicken jockey viewer because we changed to Saturday. There's a person that has come into every live show, just said chicken jockey and never commented again. I don't even know if they stick around and watch. I hope they do.
I don't have my popcorn ready to throw it up in the air.
Yeah, seriously. But the first time we ever did a live stream, somehow we just listening to the people in the I think this person started it. We one of the first things we discussed live was the new Minecraft movie.
The first couple minutes.
Yeah. Curtis also seems like an expert of metal.
Curtis has got some definite knowledge for sure.
We got to try some non-fic liminal spaces. Well, I showed this earlier. There's some non-fic.
Oh yeah. To
be honest, I do like non-fic, but for me, I'm all about the fiction. I really love it. Yeah. I got confused. Okay, hopefully, Lawrence, that I hope that was the one you were thinking of.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the thanks, Matthew G. Yep. I agree. These conversations are some of the very best on BookTube. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, we love it. It's weird because I have to shout out another Bibliophile Reads once more, because he was the one that I watched that showed me we didn't have to read a book in order to have a discussion. Because I liked the idea of doing a live show and having guests, but every time I had a guest, I had to read a novel. And it was getting to the point where there was so many people I wanted to talk to that I couldn't read that many novels and read what I wanted to read. So I just was like, forget it. Let's not have any theme. And it's really worked out because, we get off on a tangent and then the comments go off on a tangent.
Yeah. We knew like we both like books. We could just talk about like we literally have just talked about books just to each other on the phone for like 3 hours, and it's like we could just record this. This is just like, it's like we could just talk about books all day. I don't even have to have read it. I could still be like, oh really? Tell me more.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I'm not. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's nice to get lots of perspectives too, and you have the chat and everyone can contribute. So it's more fun.
I'm not the chicken jockey guy, but I had to continue the trend. You're stepping in for him. You're stepping in for him.
Don't let the flame die out.
That's right. I mean, he has been consistent because we've had like 6 live shows and he's been in every one and just chicken jockey, and that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Hope he shows
Hey,
up.
we're not over yet. He could still show up.
That's right. So, hey, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you guys for a recommendation. And maybe people in the chat might be able to help this as well. This is really far-fetched possibly for you guys, but I really want to start reading pirate novels. I was wondering if you guys know anything.
Doesn't
write a pirate novel?
Doesn't Robert E. Howard have some pirate novels?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's any good, but he did write one.
Sea Curse. That one's good.
Oh yeah, the Sea Curse. That was
all right.
Are you looking for something more recent or something older?
Because Tim just talked about Mariel of Redwall. I can't remember the name of the fantasy series, but apparently there's like mice pirates.
Yeah.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Brian Jaques.
Yeah.
Tiger of the Sea.
Ooh.
Cool.
Oh, they were just talking about that. That's also called The Sword of Rhiannon, I believe. It comes under 2 titles, and hopefully this is the right one. Tell me if I'm.
I don't think so, but maybe it is
the right one.
Fleetwood Mac does pirates.
I know Captain Blood. Isn't that by Raphael something Sabante?
Captain Blood.
Oh, Pirate Latitudes by Crichton. Yeah. That was I think that was unfinished at his death. I could be wrong on that. I never read it, but I want to read that now. Yeah, we read Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island.
That was great.
I thought it was awesome.
I haven't read it.
Stevenson's good.
He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you kind of have to watch Muppet Treasure Island afterwards because
you just kind of have to watch the Muppets all the time.
One Piece. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So he recommended an anime with like a billion episodes. That's awesome.
That's funny. Yeah.
One Piece is good, depending on your mileage may vary, but
we watched the first like 10 episodes and kind of petered out.
There is more than 1,000 episodes, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird suggestion, but China Miéville's The Scar is weird pirate science fantasy.
Yeah. The Scar is amazing. I need to read. That's the next book I need to read. It's in the same universe as Perdido Street Station. It's like very lightly connected. I don't know I don't think you have to read Perdido Street Station to read that book.
Okay.
Really, really weird.
God,
I don't want to spoil anything about it, but it was like just lots and lots of like creativity, tons of it. So fun.
Awesome.
I'm really impressed by the number of recommendations coming on this chat. I had no idea that people love pirate books. That's great.
I'll tell you what, when my channel started getting a lot of subscribers, I became obsessed with the concept, the trope, the sci-fi trope of a dream machine. And it started because of Zelazny's The Dream Master, and then of course The Lathe of Heaven by Le Guin, and so on and so forth. And so many readers or watchers or viewers on my channel came forward and like, you got to check out Paprika, Japanese science fiction writer, and you got to check out Lafferty's short story. And just so many were just spot on with that trope. It was incredible. It was really incredible. Captain Blood by Sabatini is a classic.
Okay, great title.
That's right. It has a movie. That's right. I forgot about the movie.
Oh, how about this? William Burroughs' Cities of the Red Night, about the pirate and anarchist collective.
Whoa.
I've meant to read that for a long time. It's a part of a trilogy, I think.
Oh.
God, you're gonna make me read William Burroughs again.
I've heard Naked Lunch about that Tim Powers.
I have read Naked Lunch. Yeah.
Have you watched the Cronenberg movie?
I have read
it. Yes, Tim Powers rules. There you go. There's some pirate fiction.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I don't know any pirate fiction. I can't think of one thing to recommend. That's pretty terrible.
I think we got it.
Is it really? It's like you don't have something in the pirate red slot.
I need to read a pirate thing now. Yes, that L. Ron Hubbard, but it's about an author put into his own pirate novel.
Whoa,
that's interesting.
Which book are they referring to?
It's a pirate.
I think it was Typewriter in the Sky. Was what?
Typewriter in the Sky.
Oh,
yeah. L. Ron Hubbard. It's
I've
weird.
never read L. Ron Hubbard.
No, me neither. I come across his books and I'm always like, do I? Yeah.
I
want to.
One sci-fi series. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, my internet's bad.
He has that one sci-fi series that's like 10 books long.
Battlefield.
I remember reading a bit of the first book, and it's like talking about how this guy is going to go to Earth and he needs to have rations, and so like the rations for America are hamburgers, so he has to get like stacks of hamburgers as rations or something. It was something. I was like, I'm not sure if I want to read 10 books of stuff like this, so I kind of stopped. I'm not saying that he's bad, but I don't know. I've never read Battlefield Earth or any of this stuff. That's what he's known for.
I like the idea of him being a forbidden fruit type of author,
Right.
You want to check it out, you're curious, but you know that you're gonna get the ick at some point.
Right. Yeah.
I think Harlan Ellison said something about how he was like Hubbard was trying to maximize his money so much that he would order paper by a roll, and he would put it in the typewriter, and just so he never had to tear the paper off, he just type it on one giant roll.
So cool.
It's because it took too much time or something. It was something crazy.
Sorry, I'm taking notes now. Now this is a suggestion for me.
Oh, okay. Yep.
From Curtis.
Let's see what Curtis says. He gets some good outsider books.
I think Curtis, did you just do a video on this?
Yeah, he was last week.
Yeah, I think I saw this in my YouTube homepage, and I was like, huh. It sounded very Prison Planet, very like, I don't know. I'd like to read it.
Yeah, if it's Dream Machine, I definitely want to read it. It's weird because we had to really discuss
Kidnapped
where the line is.
Yeah.
Kidnapped's a good idea. There Kidnapped. Also, I loved that book. My dad read that to me as a kid. We had to figure out where to draw the line between virtual reality and a dream machine. Because if you just make it virtual reality, then there's millions of books that can fall into the category. So yeah, we had to really figure out, like if you get stuff like Paprika and Lathe of Heaven, they are specifically machines that that are connected to dreams, not just other worlds, but specifically to dreams. And then a lot of them are about therapy. It's really strange, but so many of them are about people using these dreams for therapy. The Dream Master as well. Treasure Island is really great. Yeah. A chat bomber versus a photo bomber. Oh, talking about the Minecraft stuff. Mission Earth. Is that one of the L. Ron Hubbard books? I was thinking of Battlefield Earth.
Oh, that's probably the series. It's probably the Mission Earth series. It might be the series.
Constance is the one that brought up Kidnapped. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good suggestion.
Is that Stevenson?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yep.
I did a review of The Employees on my channel. I think that's what you mean. That's how Verge found out about it. Dream Master Zelazny was a dream machine, right? Yes, absolutely it was. That's the one that started it all for me, with this obsession with the dream machine trope. I would love to make anthologies sometime. Put together stories that all fit together. Lucid dreaming is better than therapy. I think that's kind of what it's getting at. This concept is that if therapists could view your dreams, B, control your dreams in order to bring you to realizations about your own particular psych problems, then it would be smoother than talk therapy. I wonder if it was because everybody was interested in Freud and they started thinking like, and then Jung, of course, was talking about a lot of stuff about not personality, but
Archetypes.
Yeah, archetypes. I'm not going to be able to think of this word. Anyway, archetypes is great. Yeah, and they were starting to think, okay, what would be the next step? Science fiction writers are like, what's the next therapeutic step in how this would work? And I think a dream machine would be it. I don't know how we got off on that topic, but I love it.
Yeah.
So other than, I mean, do you guys read a bunch at a time, or are you just right now just in Vandermeer all the time? What are you guys reading?
Well, so, I mean, you know, we're on a pretty, I would say, kind of rough schedule in the sense of like, we got to have a full novel done every Sunday for the main podcast show. And then on Wednesdays, we record our kind of B episode, which in this case is the weird anthologies, which we're recording 3 short stories at a time. So that's kind of a full reading schedule. But then with John, who used to record with us, we are also reading Carl Jung together. We're reading through all of his stuff. So I personally don't have a lot of time for outside reading beyond that. It's a pretty full plate.
Yeah, I'm sure. Perception is the word I was looking for. Yeah, the words leave me. What about you, Bob? What are you reading?
Pretty much Zach and I stay on the same schedule. We're also going back and forth between the anthology and Shakespeare, because we did Shakespeare all audio. We did in order of the first folio, and now we're going to go back through and do videos and do it as far as we know what he wrote,
right?
As far as in his order.
Right. Yeah, I've got Johnson's Shakespeare collection from like 1768.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me grab one of these.
Dr. Samuel Johnson?
I assume
or Ben Johnson.
Oh, could be Ben.
I don't know what Johnson this is referring to. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, these are really beautiful books.
Incredible.
Unfortunately, as time goes on, they have some damage. But in these, and I shouldn't be talking about this yet because I don't remember the names. In these is a play that they thought was his, but was later taken out as not his.
Whoa!
So one of these volumes has a play that people thought was connected to Shakespeare and turned out not to be at all.
Interesting.
I love Shakespeare. I don't know if I could break it down as much as you guys are, one at a time. That's incredible.
Yeah,
it's been fun but challenging.
I'm sure.
Definitely very challenging. Yeah. We haven't started the re-recording yet, but I'm hoping to in a couple weeks, or 2 weeks. I don't even know. But when we first did it, it was really easy because the first folio of Shakespeare was organized by genre. So we could be like, oh yeah, now we're reading the comedies, now we're reading the histories, now the tragedies. But this time it's just gonna be a mishmash, and we've already read them, so that makes it easier. But it's still gonna be rough.
I'm sure. Do you have a favorite?
Zach has some very shocking favorites.
I have some. Okay. Yeah. So what I discovered was the ones that I love the most were the ones that are almost universally hated on by the critics. So like, let's see, what's the cannibalism one? Is that Titus and Andronicus?
That was incredible. That's one of the
so good.
You want to talk about weird tales Shakespeare? It's Titus and Andronicus, man.
Yeah, it's like a trauma film written by Shakespeare.
Yes,
it's so good. And then Bob, there was another one I really liked. Oh, Timon of Athens. In Greek history, he's the first misanthrope. He's the first person who hated everyone. He's like the, so it's not a very good play, I guess I would say, but it's like really fun just to have a story about a guy who just hates everyone and gets kind of taken advantage of by people. So he just moves off and lives off by himself.
And slowly dies in the rocks.
Yeah.
So do critics dislike Titus Andronicus?
Oh, they hate it.
Yes.
They hate it. Yeah.
God, I thought it was fantastic. There's a version.
Yeah, we did too.
Patrick Stewart, I think, did a movie version of it.
There is a movie version, I think. Titus, right? Did the movie just Titus? Yeah.
Oh,
we watched the BBC.
Okay. Was it Patrick Stewart?
I don't think it was. I thought it was somebody else, but I could be wrong.
Look it up on IMDb here. What was
maybe Anthony Hopkins?
Oh, maybe it was Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would make sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fava beans.
Like, we need that guy.
Yeah, we need. Who's that guy that likes to eat people?
Yeah. That's the one.
It's Anthony Hopkins.
I think I'm getting typecast. Oh yeah.
Yeah, really.
It's not Patrick Stewart, it's Hannibal. That makes perfect sense. Exactly.
Yeah, we have 3 books that we're using as guides for Shakespeare.
3 main ones.
We're doing 3 main ones. Yeah. And those have been like, a lot of people say Shakespeare is really hard, and he is really hard, but actually I think it's mostly the language and the cultural barriers that get in the way.
Absolutely.
But Marjorie Garber's Shakespeare After All, Harold Bloom's Shakespeare, The Invention of the Human, and W.H. Auden's book, Lectures on Shakespeare, is really interesting. We're going to post a video next week about these, but I have to say, for people who are interested in reading Shakespeare, the Auden's Lectures on Shakespeare, you have to look at it. It is, so basically the university just said, Auden, we want you to lecture on Shakespeare. We'll pay you money for it. And he just went in and he just off the cuff rambled, didn't write anything down, didn't prepare anything for publication, just went off on every single Shakespeare play. And 50 years later, they cobbled together the student notes to publish about it. But it's him basically being like, I love detective fiction novels.
Yeah.
And this Shakespeare play reminds me of detective fiction novels because, or like, him really pulling in pop culture references and Pulp Fiction references to explain Shakespeare. It's incredible. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I love horror, and Shakespeare's incredible. Who's the character that they cut off her arms and put sticks in the stumps? Like Shakespeare's not fucking around. It's wild. It's really wild.
They cut out her tongue.
Yeah, they cut out her tongue. Lucretia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's a retelling from Ovid's Metamorphosis.
Yes, it is. Oh my god, I gotta go get my copy of the Metamorphosis.
Oh, Lavinia. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was nuts.
You brought up what was the
this is my Ovid from 1696. Wow. It's my oldest book, and I pull it out whenever I have the chance, and the cover's still on it.
Wow.
I love
Wow.
the Metamorphosis changed my life. That is one of the best stories. I mean, best poems, truly. But I mean, all those Greek myths are incredible, and because of that, I started studying folk and fairy tale and myth, and I mean, it was really all the Metamorphosis. Such an incredible read. If you haven't read it, you would love it.
That was one of our first book club books when we were back in China.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to read Jung's Red Book. Are you guys looking at that? I have it's weird because when that book came out, I wanted it bad. And it's just because of the advertising where they were like, Jung went insane and wrote about going to hell. And it's him at his insanity. And it's an illuminated text.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy crap, I have to have this book. Illuminated text. I love books as objects of art, obviously. And I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's like $70 when it came out.
It was $100 where I was. I couldn't do it.
I think,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
You mentioned Harold Bloom earlier. It reminded me that I just bought a Harold Bloom book. He wrote a kind of pseudo sequel to The Voyage to Arcturus. I don't know if you know about.
I don't know that.
It's pronounced Titus, absolute filth.
The Flight to Lucifer. I don't know if it's any good, by the way. So I don't have to say you should go read it. Now, somebody cut up the cover here, but the cover is. There you go. So he wrote this in response to David Lindsay's The Voyage to Arcturus. And apparently someone said that whenever Bloom would find this book, he would destroy it later because he was so embarrassed by it.
Oh,
that's funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat said that. I was like,
fiction.
yeah. So he was very obsessed with David Lindsay's Voyage to Arcturus.
Oh, I'll go get the volunteer.
Yeah. Now this is actually a really cool book. Atop, a guy who is normally like comments on a lot of the videos and stuff like that, and he's in the Discord with everybody on Chris's channel, recommended this to me, and I'm like, oh, I have a copy of that book. I've had it for years. It's this, it's really wild.
That's the Ballantine.
Yeah, really wild. Sort of like a Gnostic philosophy, like masquerading as sci-fi in a sense. I don't know if it's of interest, but it's real weird.
Yeah,
it sounds great.
Yeah, I'm in.
His own colors.
Sold.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like the kind of Gnostic influence on SF and fantasy, and I always love to see where people take it.
Yeah,
Jake, you can tell your daughters that they're right.
When they started giggling, what was it?
Chris is Dumbledore.
They legitimately think I'm Dumbledore.
No, we already established that you're Gandalf.
I can be all. How did this group feel about the Headley translation of Beowulf? So I read Heaney's Beowulf.
Yeah, I did too.
And I took a class where we were able to read the bilingual one with the Old English or the Middle English or whatever it falls under. And it was wonderful. I don't know Headley. Do you guys know that?
I read this one.
Oh yeah,
it's translated into like no, it's brand new. It's translated into like so it's been like 4 or 5 years, but from my memory, like internet language, hip hop language, very contemporary spoken English translation of Beowulf, and it's very, very. I mean, I love translation just as an art form, and I think that this is a really, really good example of this. But I wouldn't say that it should be anyone's first Beowulf.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird because 400 years from now, will it be considered an old translation that isn't great?
Yeah.
They'll have
probably 40 years from now.
Right? Yeah. That's translation question is really interesting to me. I got into it big when I was talking about Hardboiled Wonderland and Into the World. There's a new translation that is more direct. But I am a huge fan of Alfred Birnbaum's earlier translation, and some could say it's nostalgia because it's what I read first. But I don't think if this was the first translation that came out, the new J. Rubin one, it would this book would be as popular as it is.
Wow.
It's strange because you have to decide. And I was doing translation work with a friend at one point,
Cool.
it's from Japanese to English, and there was a point where one character was calling another character Obasan, which means auntie, but that person wasn't their aunt. So we had this huge fight, like a knockdown fight of how we should translate that, because in Japanese she's calling her aunt, but I'm like, if you just say auntie, that might be weird. It was going to confuse some English writers. So how do we translate this word? And I think that experience really demonstrated to me how insanely difficult translation is, because do you make it so that the readers of the second language will understand the heart of what the writer was trying to say, or do you translate it directly so that they get all the words that the writer was trying to say? It's a difficult question.
That mention of that book reminds me of something. Not that I've read it or seen it, but there's some I don't want to say translation, but that's kind of what it is, of Moby Dick into emojis. Like the entire book is in emoji.
Wow.
I've heard of this. It's generally not, people aren't very fond of it, but it sounds so interesting that I'm like, I kind of want to see this.
But it's got a lot of eggplants.
That's what I was thinking too.
I want to mention really quickly on YouTube, there's a really good video, Benjamin Bagby singing all of Beowulf and playing medieval instruments.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It's incredible because he's memorized the whole thing and he just gives it like it would have been the epic,
the way
poem.
It would have been. Yeah. That's
Benjamin
awesome.
Bagby.
That is cool.
Wild Ride, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and the Water Margin. Is Romance of the Three Kingdoms like the Chinese classic? Is that what you're talking about, Lawrence?
Yeah, the Water Margin. Yeah.
Interesting. I have a big box set of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Cool.
Oh, I thought you were pulling a book out there, Bob.
Oh no, just coughing. Sorry.
I
think Zach, are you frozen?
Zach's a little frozen.
Uh-oh. He's a snowman.
Yeah. He's going to start talking at random times now.
I've lost you guys.
Oh.
I told you.
He might be able to pop back in there.
See? Headley's translation uses
Mr. Freeze.
Dang. All right. I got to watch for him to come back. A Voyage to Arcturus rules.
So he recommended it to me. It was a great read. It was lots of fun.
Jim from News from the...
Oh my God, I love Jim. Chris is Gandalf, Saruman, Dumbledore, and Jim from News from the Gelding all in one. Damn straight. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hey. Last I heard, you guys were talking about the Chinese classics.
Yes.
Then I turned into Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, we just brought it up. I've never read the three romances, but they're on my list, definitely.
Bob, haven't you read them?
No, I started and then didn't get very far. But we read Journey to the West in English.
Yeah.
I think we finished it long time ago.
We did the Arthur Whaley translation, which is not considered great at this moment in time, because
Whaley was really huge, though. He brought so much, specifically for Japanese studies, so many translations. But yeah, now Royal Tyler. Did you guys ever come in contact with the Tale of Genji?
Oh, I still haven't read it, but
I still haven't either.
I read that one through. Speaking of romance novels, there's your romance novel. By some, considered the first novel ever written by humans.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's not in poetry. It's straight up prose. It's the earliest prose.
Mm-hmm.
Douglas,
I really like the Pillow Book.
Yeah,
early. Yeah,
that's
great.
Yeah. Also, if you like that, you might like the woman who wrote Tale of Genji. Murasaki wrote a diary that's very similar to the Pillow Book.
Okay,
and much thinner than the Tale of Genji. Oh my God. Oh, wait, before I get to there, that's funny. Matthew G says Douglas Hofstadter's Latin Beau. Why are you making me do French? Is a fun book about translation and what to keep, what to lose. That sounds interesting to me. It's a really interesting topic. Translation is. I think we're going to lose Zach in a minute.
Yeah, I gotta go at in just a couple minutes now.
Yeah.
But I'll sit through these comments and see what people have to say.
Like, what would the emoji Moby Dick do at the huge chapter about things that are white?
I don't know. I don't. I've just heard about this. I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called. I don't remember if it's Moby Dick or if it's just emojis for the title. I don't remember.
That's hilarious.
I have to look it up.
The best joke of the night has been a lot of eggplant emojis from Bob. That is hilarious.
Probably true.
I always think of Rabassa's translation of 100 Years of Solitude as an example of a great translation. That's the one I read as well. And I loved it. So the translation, I mean, it's so hard if you don't speak the original language. It is a retelling like the War Nerds' fantastic version of the Trojan War, rather than a translation. The Icelandic translation of Dracula was infamously revealed to be a completely different story. Great. Wow. If you guys haven't read the history of the Icelandic translation of Dracula, that is a fun rabbit hole to go down, because the person didn't really speak the language, so he just kind of wrote what he thought Dracula was in Icelandic and published it, and it's kind of a completely different story.
I wonder if we can find an English translation of the Icelandic translation.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I would have to do as well. I will accept Merlin as well, Constance. Absolutely. Great group of people on here tonight. Love Will of Genres channel. Great work.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cody. That's Cody. He's
Cody.
Absolutely fantastic.
Cool. Well, guys, I got to get going. But I want to say, Virgil, Chris, thank you so much for having us on. And
absolutely,
this has been an absolute blast. I could talk at least another 45 minutes if I didn't have somewhere to head off to right now.
Yep. You got to get to what you got to get to. I know we're making you do this early in the morning.
We really appreciate it.
It's that's how it goes sometimes. All right, take care, guys. See you tonight, Bob.
Oh yeah, see you in a couple hours. Yeah.
Bye. All right, you guys want to keep going, or are you done?
I can go either way.
If we're gonna keep going, I'm gonna take a bathroom break though.
Yeah, you want to? All right, do a bathroom break.
You guys keep talking. I'll be back.
I'm going to show people the best translation of. If you're going to read the Metamorphosis, which you absolutely should, this is the translation that I think is the best I've ever read, and I've read a few of them. But Mandelbaum is this guy's name, Alan Mandelbaum.
Okay,
absolutely incredible. And there's are you a Italo Calvino fan at all, Bob?
Yeah, I've read Invisible Cities, and then I've read maybe that might be it actually.
So have you read 6 memos for the end of the millennium?
I don't think so. Is that part of Invisible Cities?
We were talking about having writers on here, and people were asking for writers advice. And if I were to give one book that talks about writing advice, it would be Italo Calvino's 6 Memos from the End of the World, or for the End of the Millennium. And in it, he has a section where he talks about, he breaks up the things your writing needs, and one of them is lightness. And he uses the Metamorphosis. I'm about to talk about this in a video. He uses the Metamorphosis as an example, because there's a part in the Metamorphosis where who's the guy that has the Gorgon's head? Perseus.
Yeah.
So Perseus is walking around with what is basically like the nuclear bomb of ancient Greece, right? I mean, this weapon destroys armies. It's insane. And the only time it comes up in the Metamorphosis is right after he saves Andromeda. Release the Kraken. He needs to wash his hands. So he goes and he needs to put the Gorgon's head down, and he's by this spring. So he gets a bunch of lichen and moss and builds this little nest thing and puts the Gorgon's head down eyes down in this nest, and all of the nest turns into coral, and all the water nymphs of the spring, while he's washing his hands, are running up and putting more coral in or more moss and stuff in to turn to coral so they can take it. Wow. And Calvino talks about how incredible it is that he demonstrated this power, this incredible destructive power with such lightness, that the image of the Gorgon's head is all the weight of that destructive power is on such a light image. It's really brilliant. If you guys are writers, I highly recommend Italo Calvino's 6 Memos for the Next Millennium. It's probably the best writing book I've found.
Yeah, mine just came in the mail yesterday.
Did it? Did you just get it? All right, good. I hope you like it, Virgil. I've
already read the section you're talking about, and it is so good. I like his writing anyways. Calvino is so I don't know. He's got such a great quality to his writing. It's there is a lightness to his writing. It seems lighthearted, even though he's dealing with really complicated subject matter or complicated issues. I really enjoyed the Cloven. Was it the Cloven Viscount, or is that what it's called? Cloven Viscount. What is it? It's you know what I'm talking about?
I think I have it, but the only ones I've read is Invisible Cities and 6 Memos for the.
I think his Cloven Viscount was really good. All about this guy who goes to war. I don't remember which war it was, and a cannonball shoots him and blows half of him away, and he comes home. So literally, half of him is not there, right? But then later on, the other half shows up.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
Much later, awesome. Right? It's as good as it sounds.
Man, Borges is a writer that I want to get into.
He's great.
Yes. Well, I'm looking for a story, and I was a little bit let down because I read about a story or heard about a story. Somebody brought up a story on BookTube, probably, that is based or is kind of a retelling of the Minotaur in the maze in the labyrinth. And I want to read that. I really want to read that. So I looked it up on Wikipedia, what short story collection it's in, and I bought it. And the one that arrived doesn't have that short story in it. So I wish I could remember the name of this story, but man, I would love to. I don't think I've ever read Borges.
Is it Labyrinths, or is that just the name type?
That might be it.
That's the title of a collection, and there's lots of labyrinths in it, but I can't remember if there's a Minotaur. There's People Who Never Die. There's The Garden of Forking Paths. There's Everyone is Shakespeare.
Is that where I should start with Borges?
Oh, that Labyrinth is great. It's very, very good.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if we'll ever beat your record for longest guest stream. I got into a mood. It was so crazy. I got into a mood where I was like, you know what? We're going to keep talking until 0 people are watching.
Oh my God.
And it became like this game with me where I was like, and we got him down to like 14. And I was like, yes, this is working. Virgil left
this is working
to take somebody home.
We're driving them away.
Yeah. And then suddenly, I guess news spread that I was being an idiot on the internet, and
more people
were back up to the 20s right away. Clash of the Titans changed my life as a child. Me too. Yeah. I mean, I loved that. Ray Harryhausen was incredible. Truly. Oh,
I've seen the 7th Voyage of Sinbad probably almost 100 times. Not because I can't not watch it, but when my son was little, he was obsessed with Elmo, and I'm like, I will do anything to not watch Elmo again. I put on the 7th Voyage of Sinbad, and he really liked it, and so then every day he wanted to watch it. So I was like, okay, I'll watch the Ray Harryhausen movie again. So we just watched it all the time, to the point where I had to make a copy to send to my in-laws when he went over there, so they would have it to put on for him.
This is a great question, Bob. Any Chinese science fiction recommendations? Short story, Folding Beijing, or is it Bending, for example?
Let's see. Zach is a real expert in Santi, the 3-body problem.
Oh, okay.
We're going to read that eventually. He knows a lot more about that. There's an author that's not really science fiction, but is kind of likes to get a little bit weird. Ha Jin. He did Waiting, and he's got different collections of short stories. But he's in Syracuse now. You might have him. He's really good.
Now I'm checking to see.
Okay.
No, mine are all Xin Lu or however.
Oh yeah, it's Xin. Yeah.
And then the other one's Ted
No.
Ted Lang or.
Oh yeah.
Ted Chang, yeah.
Ted Chang.
And he of course, Ted Chang did the short story that became the movie Arrival.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna read some of him eventually too. Let's see. I want to get more into knowing more authors in Taiwan. There's one that's called an author who just got the Pulitzer for because her book was translated, and so the translation won the Pulitzer. And her pen name is Twins or Gemini. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I want to read her really bad.
I read a long time ago an author. I think it's Gao Xing Zhao. I'm terrible at pronunciation. Called Soul Mountain, which was really interesting.
Okay, so
it might not have aged perfectly, but wow, it was a wild, weird read. And that's unfortunately as far as I can get into Chinese literature. I'd love to read more.
You know, there's one that I just remembered we read a long time ago when we had John. It was just the audio. Lao She, Cat Country.
Oh,
I still think about it all the time. Basically, a guy gets in a spaceship. His spaceship crashes on, I think it's the moon or Mars, but it happens to be already totally inhabited with a full civilization, but everyone's a cat person, and they're all addicted to reverie leaves. That was extremely weird.
Tell me how to spell it, because that seems to answer the question. Awesome. How do you spell his name?
So the pinyin is Lao space SHE, Lao She, and Cat Country. It got he is now a beloved author, but that book got banned, and I think might
just put it in the chat.
Cool. Yeah, that was great.
Was it translated into English?
Yeah, we read it in English.
Okay.
At that time, we couldn't read very well.
Yeah, I don't know folding Beijing or bending. Oh, yeah. Maybe Zach would know. You got to go subscribe to Wheel of Genre and we'll start asking these questions. If upon a winter's night, a traveler is my favorite Calvino. I got to read more Calvino.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, every book it just blows people away. It's more a collection of stories. Is it called Labyrinths? It must be. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember what channel I heard that from. Universal History of Infamy is like fun capsule biographies. I wonder if that's Calvino as well. Maybe it's Borges. Labyrinths is a good compilation. There's more than one translation in English. It's early baby Borges though. I have all y'all playing in the background while I work on my Sword and Planet novel. I'm not going anywhere for a while. Tim thinks I'm going to do it again. Oh boy. Borges is in Book of the New Sun too. He appears as the torturer's librarian, Master Zoltan. I hope that wasn't Master Olton. Yeah, I didn't realize that was Borges. That's interesting. Ted Chang is so good. So I read Constance. I read Arrival, and it is such an interesting concept to say I'm going to write a science fiction story, but from the perspective of somebody writing an academic study. And for me personally, I've read way too many academic studies for that to be an enjoyable prose style for me. The story's incredible, but I wasn't a huge fan of that choice. I feel like it took all the kind of art out of the prose and made it into this scientific discussion, which I'm sure science fiction readers would like. But yeah, I'm more of a poetic style lover. Now, I didn't read any more in there, so I think that's the only one they made that choice. So I think I have to read more because I have heard really good things about Ted Chang.
I've read a few of his short stories from Stories of Your Life and other stories, and I really liked it.
That's the one I have as well. But of course, I think this is the same one you have, Virgil. I've got the movie tie-in.
Yeah, I've got that copy of the.
Yep, same one. Yep, stories of your originally published as Stories of Your Life and Others.
Is it the same? Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you look at if the Story of Your Life is the movie Arrival.
Oh, I thought it was the whole novel. Yeah, so I bought that. I didn't know. I already have this version. So
that's the earlier, better version. Hold on. Okay. That's the version I wanted. But I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, well, it looks like it was out of a library because there's a torn off page. And
Here,
this is withdrawn.
Hold that up again. That's that cover is what I used for my thumbnail.
Yeah, so it's really good. I remember one of the first stories was about the Tower of Babel. The first story is Tower of Babel, and it was really good. A really interesting story about like the building of the tower and what happens at the top.
Is there a story about a lighthouse in that collection too?
It has been so long. That's the only one I remember is that story because it just was so vivid in my imagination. I just never have gotten back to it, I guess.
It's mind babbling.
Lawrence, thank you very much for joining us this time and last time. It's been a riot. Thank you very much. Chris, you should try Chang's story on Angels in that book. It is my favorite. I will have to check it out. Let's see. I'm going to try to. We've had a lot of comments that I haven't kept up. Italian recommendation: 20 Days of Turin by. I'm sorry, my cat. You stop, dude.
Giorgio De Maria.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would have only said it wrong.
Somebody else pronounced it. Weird and Fantastic. I love both Weird and Fantastic.
Yeah.
I recommend the 1970 Mick Jagger movie Performance, which has a Borges through line informing it. Interesting.
Whoa.
That sounds awesome. You're gonna have a whole full book of recommendations there.
Yeah, I'm on 4 pages.
Nice. Oh, did I spell everything right there? Lao She, Cat Country.
Yeah, that's the pinyin anyway. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It could show up different ways though. So
right. Sounds like it echoed H.P. Lovecraft's Space Cats.
Oh, Space Cats.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of H.P. Lovecraft's Space Cats.
Well, I mean, I know he has. What's the story about? There's the cats are from Saturn and the Dreamlands or something, aren't they? And then the Lovecraft stories. And what's that one story about? Oh, I can't remember something about the town that love cats or something like that. It's like a weird. It's like his dream stories, which are kind of fantasy stories.
Huh.
Murakami has one too, I think.
About cats?
Yeah, I think so. In one of his short story collections, it's like I think it's also just called The City of Cats or something.
Yeah. It might be in The Elephant Vanishes.
Oh, I think it is in that one.
Yeah. Sorry, Folding Beijing by a novelette.
Cool. I'll definitely read that.
It might be the Cats of Ulthar.
Cats of Ulthar.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe I can't remember. It's been so all these dream stories of Lovecraft's like blend together.
Yeah. Interesting. I've never even heard of that.
You've never read any of his dream stuff? Did you ever read Dream Quest of the Unknown Kadath?
No, I don't have that.
Oh my god!
And it's one of the Ballantine fantasies, I think, and I don't have it.
It's like essentially it's like a dark fantasy novella.
Interesting.
Really.
I'll have to check it out.
So yeah, it's one of my favorite Lovecrafts. It is my favorite.
It's him getting the weirdest, huh?
Oh yeah, he does. There's a lot of unfinished weird stories in there that are just so interesting.
Cool. Can you say the title again, Virgil?
Sure.
Let me see.
The title for this is
Dreams of Terror on Death. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but if you can find and all of them, I bet you Horror Babble has a lot of them. But the Dream Quest of the Unknown Kadath.
I lied. I have it.
Is a real big. It's like a novella length. Yep. There's a Michael Whelan's.
Whoa.
Cover.
It's a good cover too.
You did that.
Cool.
Yeah. Is I really enjoyed it.
Horrifying.
It gets real weird.
Well, that's going on my list for soon, man.
Oh, you'll like it. I think you'll like it. Yeah. It's really more fantasy than like it's not really trying to scare you or trying to creep you out per se. It is creepy, but it's not trying to creep you out. It's like fantasy.
All right. Good night, Curtis.
Good night, Curtis. I started watching your show. I love it.
Yeah, Curtis is great.
Oh.
He's got so many good reviews. Yeah, I literally am like pillaging his channel for review books. See, Curtis.
Book poacher. That's good.
I tried that one. So she's talking to Mr. Bandana Head. I wonder if this is the Beijing folding one.
Oh.
I tried that one, but got hung up at the interpolations of the tarot cards.
Oh.
Chris,
Anyway.
Okay, we already did that.
If anyone likes tarot cards, you got to check out the Dark Exact. The Dark Exact.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it down.
I'm doing it.
She's really cool. She's a poet, makes tarot cards, and makes all sorts of tarot-related things, but she's got a very different interpretation of it. Lots of people are not a fan in some ways, but I think it's brilliant, and lots of people just
What is it
love
again? The
Exact.
The Dark Exact.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I always love after these videos are done when I close the laptop and there's stacks of books
Yeah.
that I
You're
have
surrounded.
I have to go put back.
There is like a cleanup phase to these
There
videos.
is.
Nobody sees.
Talking about Ted Chiang, when they reached the roof in the Tower of Babel story, it did my brain in. That sounds good.
It was fun. I know he did other stuff and I really liked it. That story was so strong. I just like can't remember the next one. I should have like read a story, done something else, come back, read another story. Oh well. I have to revisit the whole collection.
Chiang's story I mentioned is Hell is the absence of God.
Cool.
And that's in that book for sure. It's in this one. I assume it's in the other one too.
Okay.
H.P. Lovecraft loved cats. He loved his cat in particular. We don't talk about that cat though.
I think we know.
If
what
you
cat
know,
that is.
you know.
We're just gonna let that cat lie.
Dang, Pulp Mortem. Thanks, Jake.
Oh, Chris.
Here, Chris. But you have to buy and read the next ridiculous pulpy book you find instead of sending it to me. Oh man, that's
now I think no.
Can we make it an Eves read?
Yeah, really.
The next pulpy book I find an Eves read. Let's do that.
Yeah,
I want everybody to do it with me. I don't want to do it by myself.
Yeah, really. If you're gonna read a bad book, at least do it with somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. That was very nice, Jake. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake.
Holy moly, we made it to the end of the stream.
Whoa.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, Jake's money comes with a price.
True.
Nothing. What is it? There's a Japanese saying, nothing costs more than something that's free.
Oh wow.
There's no free lunch.
Oh, Bob, it's been great to finally meet you, man.
Awesome.
Great to meet you too, and great to meet you, Virgil. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having us on too. We're big fans of your show, and lots of people in the chat too. I've been watching like Secret Fire books forever.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to join this and talk about books.
Yeah. Next time I got a really weird story I want to read and talk with you guys about. I think it would be fun.
We're in.
Yeah. We could maybe do, instead of a live, make a regular video. It'd be really fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. We can't do the thing now because Zach already left.
Oh, the talk to you later.
Yeah, I was gonna do that right at the end, but Zach had to leave early. Oh, all right. Pulp Morton said deal. All right, I'm gonna tell you the next pulpy book I buy. I'll send you a picture. Oh, Grammaticus.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, cool.
No, I just got here. You guys have another hour in you. Oh, that's Grammaticus. It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm sorry we started at a different time than we usually do. A different day.
That's my fault.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys had to get up early, so you did the real work.
Okay. It's okay. It's just on the other day I teach, so I'd have to.
Yeah. Do you teach English?
Yeah, I teach 5th and 6th grade, and the next year I'll be teaching high school, lower and upper high school. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's really fun. 5th grade is tough because you gotta, the kids have to be. They're younger, they're closer to 4th grade. So it really have to be like, I'm sorry, you can't stand upright, that kind of thing. But 6th grade, they get really mature and they have really great insight. And they're funny. So they're really fun to teach. 5th grade is funny and they're fun to teach too. It's just more difficult.
Right.
So I'm excited for high school. I think that'll be really fun.
Are you allowed, is a weird word. Are you allowed to use Chinese in your English class?
No.
Okay.
Lots of studies show that if you do a little bit of bilingual, it's better. But lots of schools are very strict.
Yeah.
And so I had to do a speech one time, and I had to do a speech in Chinese, and I started it, and then the principal walked over, took the mic away, and just said, "I'm sorry, you can't do this." And then, it's very strict.
Yeah, it's the same in Japan. Like they
really?
want full immersion, and that's that.
Yeah.
You can't help along a little bit. You know what I mean? Say this means this. They don't want any. They want them looking it up in the dictionary and everything. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic that we could talk about for hours teaching.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll plan something that we can do a video on sometime. I want you to read a short story by a writer named Kudahashi Yumiko. Let me grab this really quick.
Kudahashi Yumiko.
I didn't have a sharpened pencil with me, so I had to I'm like, this one's okay.
I've got my broken red pen that I was just grading tests with.
Start working.
Yeah. Putting flashbacks of taking points away right now.
Right.
-1. Red pen.
It's awesome.
Yeah, this is Kudahashi Yumiko's. Oh, let me change the view here.
Oh, I think I've seen your video on one of the stories in here.
No, that was Suzuki Izumi. No, this is a different writer. Not as much science fiction, but she did do one science fiction story, which is called The Extraterrestrial, I believe, in English. Uchujin in Japanese. Let's see if they call it. Yeah, an extraterrestrial. And I don't even know if we can talk about this on YouTube, but a long time ago, we were talking in the comments of one of your videos about Japanese stories, and this is the one that blew my mind the most. But it's also dirty, so we'll have to read it and see how we can talk around it in a video.
we've done our erotica videos, so we'll be ready.
Yeah, there you go. You're good at it. They've been going for 8 hours though.
Oh, nice timing. Wow. I'm multilingual. No good.
No good. Okay. Yeah, I love all the people that come on these chats. Such an incredible time.
Awesome.
Thanks everybody for watching. Seriously, in the description of the video, I've already made it so you can click on the link to Wheel of Genre. Go check them out. They are really fun. I was originally going to put in the advertisement, these guys are smarter than me and better looking than me.
Neither is true. You're Merlin.
But I didn't want it to turn into people thinking I wanted
the DMs.
But yeah, it's very true. They, like I said earlier, these guys blow up books and inspect every piece. It's incredible.
We're trying. A lot of the time we don't make sense, but we try to make sense.
You guys should have way more viewers. It's ridiculous.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic content.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
For sure. And great, just such good discussion. So easy to get lost and just like,
I get lost while I'm speaking some of the time. What am I saying?
We get lost. It's good stuff.
Oh man. And if you're not already subscribed to Virgil, of course, go check out Literally Books, because Virgil is awesome. I wanted to say one thing. And I hope everybody's still in here. Everybody is talking about the fact that Virgil's recent video was hilarious, and that well, just a really quick version of it. He recorded a video and the audio didn't record, so instead of re-recording it, he just dubbed himself, which was hilarious. But I know Virgil very well, because when I first discovered Virgil, when he said, "I'm sorry, the algorithm didn't show you my video of The Thing," I watched The Thing, and then I scrolled back, and I don't know what this video is called, but it is a video of Virgil in his garage or some kind of shed or something.
Not that video.
Talking about all the rare titles of books you've never heard of by huge authors. Go find it. It's earlier in the stuff. It's incredible. It's when I went, this guy has an incredible sense of humor. I love that video. Virgil doesn't like it as much. But
it's all right.
I loved it. I was laughing so hard. I feel like somebody talked to you from outside the shed at one point, or you were pretending they were and you were yelling at them. Oh my God. Yeah, go find that video. It is hilarious. I should link it. I'll try to link it later in the description as well, because it is very fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I knew. Virgil was one of the funniest guys on BookTube. So and the new one is very funny. We'll leave with a quote from Virgil here. Buy your own ding dongs.
That's right,
Virgil.
That's right.
Thank you guys.
We'll get those ding dongs on TV. All right.
I guarantee you we'll talk again.
For sure.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Virgil.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Give it a minute to end. That will now be on the